Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Oh, no, it's not even Friday. It's Monday. Look at it. Look at me. I already want the week to be over, right? But happy Monday to you guys, all right? I hope everybody's going well. I hope everybody had a good work day and they're ready for tomorrow. They're ready to relax and release. If you're still at work, I hope that work ends soon for you. But nonetheless, I do have a couple of videos that I want to go over with you guys today. Something I need to do since we're dealing with our own little winter vortex that's going on over here. It's snowing, it's storming. So we're definitely getting this white winter that we always look forward to, especially us in the north. And anybody just coming in, just make sure you're hitting the like button while you're coming in. Like I said, it definitely helps and supports the channel and is greatly appreciated. Okay, so the first video that I do have for you individuals today, good folks of the algorithm, is there is a video of a wife. This wife is, as of right now, she's a suspect of unaliving her husband, and she's very how can I put it? She thinks she's smarter than the average bear, per se, right? She thinks that she's smarter than a detective, that she can tell them everything, and she's getting away with it. And we're going to see the steps that she takes as how she's trying to get away with it, and pretty much how she thinks that she's smarter than the detectives and that they're not going to be able to pin this to her. So I want to take a look at this with you, ladies and gentlemen that's in the chat, and let's see going forward how everything goes. So let me pull up my screen. All right, here we go.
On October 9, 2020, Jennifer Faith and her husband of several years, Jamie Faith, went for their daily morning walk with their dog in the safe neighborhood of Oak Cliff, Texas. Jamie was a dedicated stepfather to Jennifer's daughter, a hard worker with a position as a technology director at American Airlines, an avid gamer, and a beloved community member. Everyone at his job adored him. Everyone in the community thought he was a kind, respectful man, and no one that law enforcement spoke with had a single bad thing to say about him. Which is why what happened on 7:30 a.m. on that autumn day was so bewildering. As Jennifer and Jamie left their home, a man approached Jamie from behind, shooting him 6 times at close range. The man then wrestled a screaming Jennifer to the ground, bound her hands with duct tape, and fled in a black pickup truck with a noticeable white T sticker on the back. Law enforcement quickly arrived on the scene, while others met Jennifer at the hospital, where Jamie was tragically pronounced dead. The two had been together for over 15 years. Hours after the murder, law enforcement brought Jennifer to their station to be questioned. Since she appeared to be a deeply grieving wife, the detective in charge of Jamie's case spoke to her gently and paid close attention to her. Appearances, of course, can be deceiving.
No. All right. Appreciate you being patient with me. I guess you have your ID on you.
Yeah. When do I call his parents?
We'll handle that. Okay. Where are they from?
They live in Las Vegas. Everybody's.
So I just want to say straight off the bat, before we get more into the interrogation, that is, to me, it seems very weird that out of nowhere you and your husband is about to go traveling. I don't know if you're going to the store, you're going on a walk, whatever not. But this shooter comes and shoots him 6 times deliberately, and they don't even try to shoot you at all. They tie you up. They just tie you up and they like kind of like gag you. I think that off the bat, that's weird to me, because tying you up and gagging you, that takes time, right? And if you just committed a murder, what the first thing you want to do is, after doing whatever you needed to do, you want to hurry up and get out of Dodge. So why would someone who deliberately wants to just shoot or execute whatever the plan is, why will they take, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes to tie up a witness? Normally people try to get rid of their witnesses, right? Or as many witnesses that they can possibly get rid of. So for him to take time to tie up this woman, but then deliberately shoot her husband six times, that, that raised a red flag to me, because that's not what real shooters do. But let's go on.
From Wisconsin, North originally. His dad has stage 4 cancer and just started chemo. We were just out there 2 or 3 weeks ago for his first dose. He's the only family I have, other than my daughter.
I don't want you to take personal anything that I say, because it's just, I wanted to get down, because I gotta find out, who your person, your husband was, about you all, just go in depth, okay? And then that way it help me do my job, because I want to find out if somebody was just watching you all, if he's in your lifestyle, and you just, or what have you, because, for this is a tragic, I couldn't imagine what you're going through right now. But hopefully, we can get out to the bottom of this together, okay?
Yeah.
Like I tell all my families, today I became a part of your family, so anything personal, anything that I ask, I'm not trying to take, I don't want you to take offense to it, but I just got to do my job, and I want to do it to the fullest, okay? So, today, so you say your husband, he works at American Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
How long has he been there, an employee?
Oh, forever. So he was with U.S. Airways.
And we're not talking about the American Airlines Center where the Americans play basketball.
No, the airline.
We're talking about the airline, okay.
Yeah, so he was with U.S. Airways when we were in Phoenix, and then U.S. Air bought American, they merged, and so he got, we moved to Dallas. So I was working at the time and traveling all the time, and he was traveling back and forth between Dallas and Phoenix, and so we joked, I'm sorry, let me silence this.
Yeah. What does he actually do for them?
He is the director, he's an IT director, so he oversees all of the website and the mobile.
Did he have any side businesses or anything like that? So he just worked there and every day, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just decided it was silly for us to pay a mortgage for our cats to live in our house, and so we moved to here.
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
You guys bought that house?
Actually, 3 years ago, yesterday is when we closed, and it was our 15-year anniversary of the day we met yesterday. So, I worked. I could go anywhere. I was working for Select Medical at the time, and I was a regional manager, and I helped open.
So you could tell that this happened around the time when we had the pandemic. I think that around this time it's probably really hard for the detectives and investigators to basically interrogate people for certain crimes at that time, because people were wearing masks, right? And even after, when the coast was clear and we had the option to wear a mask or not, some people would still wear masks at that time. So a lot of people, they do feel a little bit more comfortable in, stating their side of the story, whether if it's true or it's not true, because you can't really see their face, right? Or you're only seeing half their face. So unless you really can read eyes and read other mannerisms, it's going to be really hard, to see how they're really how they're physically looking when you're talking about this topic, or when they're expressing what they feel about what happened, or telling any details and so.
Rehab hospitals, and like when people have head injuries and they come from strokes and stuff. I got
Hey, young Riaz, how are you doing? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you.
So hard, my health just. and so we decided 2 years ago that I would quit my job for a while and work on my health, and so that's what I've been doing, and I don't know what else to do.
Okay, and so 3 years ago, you guys moved here, so you've been living there ever since.
Yes.
All right, so have you guys had any issues with anybody since you've been here? Any disagreements, any arguments?
Yeah, it's just stupid, not arguments or anything. There's a dog down the street that we've reported twice, and it's been removed from their home, and they keep getting it back, but the dog would always be out and attacking us. And it just, the only other thing, the neighbors that are here right now, they're awesome, wonderful people, but we've lent them quite a bit of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just got $400 back of it.
Which side?
So on the north side of us.
Okay, so right now, where the like right next to the white fence?
No.
Oh, the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. Other side, opposite side from where you were. Okay.
Yeah, opposite side.
Okay.
But we're close with them. Like, they've got 5 kids. Those kids have come over and spent the night with us multiple times, and I mean, that's why we loan them money. Mona's been amazing and has been trying to pay it back. She didn't know that Melissa borrowed it, her partner. And so that's the only other thing, friction-wise, I can think of, but there's no way.
Yeah, but your husband, nobody, he had no grudge with anybody. He never did mention anybody where that he'd have to look out for his life or anything like that.
Oh gosh, no.
Okay.
According to Jennifer's account, she and Jamie have been the shining pillars of their community for quite some time. Obviously not the type of family where a wife would, say, murder her husband in cold blood. It's worth noting that though Jennifer makes it a point to explain that they've lent money to many people, in the aftermath of Jamie's death, it was Jennifer who was racking in the dough. Her neighborhood and friends donated $60,000 to help support Jennifer in her time of need.
So today, you guys, what time did you guys wake up today?
I think that is very telling, right? She says that her husband was a great guy. He had no problem, and I'm sure they're going to go and interview other people, maybe friends, his family members, her family members, right? Other neighbors. He never had any problems with anyone. It seemed like he was just a stand-up, decent guy who just worked for the airlines. So why would someone deliberately go up to him and shoot him 6 times point blank? That just seems very personal to me, right? Personal, or somebody was set out to do a particular type of mission. So it's just like, why? It doesn't make any sense. I do like the fact that they did note that she off the bat started just letting the detectives know that they had lent money to fellow neighbors before, but tried to also say that even though they would have lent money to neighbors who was down and out and in need, that in fact they were just great neighbors, right? But she just keep on letting them know, hey, I have lent money to this neighbor, I lent money to that neighbor, and it's all for a reason, really. Hey, Lana, how you doing? Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. All right, let's go on more with this interrogation.
I was awake at 6 and I was just laying in bed, and we had the alarm set for 7:30, but at 7 Jamie woke up too, and we thought, well, we'll just go ahead and go for our walk. We usually go between 7 and 7:30 anyway. It depends on when his first conference call is for the day.
Where do you guys walk? Where you guys walk to?
So we always walk the same route. We go south on Waverly, and when we get to Clarendon, we'll take 1 or 2 directions. Lately, we've just been going straight down Waverly, and then we cross the tracks. We go left onto Lansford, down to Edgefield, come up north on Edgefield. We go down Nolte, I think is the name of the street where the school is, and then we cut through a little alleyway to get back up to Clarendon, because there's some dogs at the end of Nolte and Waverly that we try to avoid. So that's how we've been going lately, because we didn't want to pass by the school, because school's back in session, and we kept walking the dog past the school, and it was just crazy with all the kids and stuff. So we've been going the opposite route, because by the time we get past to the school, school's out, or in a drop-off's done. So that's where we were going today. And we do it every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Have y'all had any incidents where y'all walking and somebody said anything, had worse than anybody, or something realized, observed anyone following you guys or anything when y'all walk at times?
Oh gosh, normally we pass the same people all the time. There's a guy with but no, everybody's very friendly. We love our neighborhood.
So, and the guy came from, so you were walking southbound.
Yes.
Towards Clarendon.
Yes.
And that's when you saw or heard somebody.
I heard running.
You heard running?
I heard running. And then I thought, because he's always behind me, he stays and closes the door and stuff, and then it's just the way the sidewalks are. He's always behind me when we walk. And I thought maybe he was doing something goofy back there. We were goofing around this morning anyway, and so we were giving each other a hard time, and I thought maybe he was, I don't know, like fleeting thought, I thought, oh, what is he doing back there? And then I heard a shot. And then I turned around and I just saw this person shoot and shoot. I couldn't believe, I didn't know, why? His body was lying like this on the street, and then I saw his head.
So was your husband like this? Did your husband say anything to him?
No, I don't know. I think I was yelling no. I think he did the same thing. It just seemed quiet. That's all I remember are the shots.
And several shots?
Well, a lot of shots. 5, 6 maybe, I feel like. And he just kept going. And I'm like, what is this stopping? And the shot and my husband's expression.
You said your husband's facial expression?
Just like, oh my God. And he just grabbed. And so I was like, the shot. And then I saw the birds turn and like just dark eyes and coming toward me. And so I yelled no, and I had the dog, and I started to run, and he tackled me to the ground, and I shot, ran, and he was hitting my face, and kept trying to turn me over, and he hit my side and back and hitting, and then tried to turn me over, and he was grabbing my arms and trying to take my rings, and then all of a sudden I saw a flash of it was silver, the gun was silver. And then he pulled out a roll of duct tape.
From his pants, or?
I think it had to have been, I think, or I don't know. He just had it. And he tied my tape in my hands. So
how does she know that it was duct tape? I mean, you should have just said tape. But again, this is happening during the day, right? This is like afternoon, evening. This occurred. So you saying that you heard him running, or you heard footsteps running while you and your husband was walking to your vehicle. So you said that he normally travels behind you because, that's his kind of protection level. He's, he wants to make sure he opens the door for you and let you in, whatever not. So, okay. So if you heard someone running, and obviously that wasn't your husband running, didn't you turn around so you didn't notice that somebody was running up on you guys? That's kind of weird to me that you didn't realize that if you heard running. And then, like I said, this is happening during the day. Why is he going to shoot your husband 6 times, but then come across you and just want to tie you up and then run away? You said that there was dogs barking and stuff. So obviously people started to know that there was a commotion going on outside. So he had enough time where he could duct tape you, your arms and stuff, and then run away. It's not reading it's not reading realistic to me, especially since this happened in broad daylight. It does not read like this is exactly what happened. Or if it did happen this way, it just seems too planned. It seems too planned to me. So let's go on.
And then I don't know what happened. I remember screaming, and I was just looking at Jamie. It's just coming. And I was screaming, help me, help me. And I could see people on the street, and it's coming. And so then the next door neighbor in the white wrought iron, she's like, what happened? And we shouted.
So as soon as you start screaming, so he just got up and went away? Did he do it?
No, I was screaming the whole time. He was like trying to attack me the whole time I was screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened that he went away. I don't know. He taped my hands, mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he was just gone.
You didn't see which direction he ran towards?
I didn't. I saw the black truck everybody was talking about, but I didn't see him get in it.
So you did see the black truck everybody was talking about?
Yeah.
How did you see that black truck?
I was sitting there. I think it was right when I sat up, and I just got a glimpse of it. And then somebody said it was the black truck. So they asked me, was it the black truck? And I said, I don't know.
But you did see it. Was it close by? When you saw it, what was it?
It was, so the empty lot that's across the street, mm-hmm. It was in front of that. But I looked at our ring video, and it doesn't look like anything's over there when we left the house.
Can I see?
Yeah. That's the only thing that got picked up was us leaving. We used the cameras. So here's the whole history.
Anything before that?
Maybe. Let me look. I guess I didn't look before.
There are a couple of things to note in Jennifer's story so far. For starters, murderers don't often tie bystanders up with duct tape in broad daylight in the street like an old-timey villain tying a damsel to railroad tracks. Secondly, the black truck she claims to have seen was seen by several bystanders and cameras on the street. Detectives will dive more into the black truck and its owner soon. But first, they have to dive into Jennifer's Ring camera footage, which she is so helpful in offering to them. Unfortunately for her, the investigators are going to do what they do best: investigate. And that means they aren't just going to look at the timestamp of the murder and call it good.
Okay, so this is us leaving.
Okay, so let's go back to 2:38.
So this is the problem with a lot of people who are suspects, and they trying to find out or pretty much, eliminate them as being a suspect, right? Because she thinks that only showing what she wants to show that's on her Ring camera that she's control of, she thinks that is the end, the beginning and the end of the investigation for the detectives and the inspectors. It's not, right? What they try to do, they have to paint the picture. Why it happened. They remember 3 things that they need. They need the means, they need the intent, and they need opportunity, right? And that's how they can actually plead a case to the courts in reference of you being guilty. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at your actions or the actions or the dynamic that was going on at your house from your Ring camera almost like maybe 10 days before the incident occurred, right? But see, a lot of people just believe that they're only going to look at that particular day, that particular moment when it happened, and see what you said, did it actually happen that way? This is what they believe. But what they're truly going to do when they're trying to find someone who is guilty and they need to eliminate you to say you're not guilty, they're going to look at all of your recordings on that Ring camera, what led up to the point where your husband got killed. And apparently he comes across you and he wants to just tie you up in duct tape, right? He didn't steal anything from you. You said he tried to steal your rings. You still have your rings. All of a sudden, he's doing all this in broad daylight and not really worrying about trying to get away. Not until when a neighbor's dog starts barking, and then now all of a sudden he wants to run away. Like, I don't know. She must be watching too many old school movies, country movies, or something like that. But her story is just not plausible. It really isn't. Hey, Mr. Freezy, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, sir. I appreciate you. I hope you're feeling better, right? Lemon ginger tea, okay? All right, let's go on.
That's our side camera.
So you want to pick some motion?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know. That house is empty. It's unoccupied.
Can you come back?
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be anybody over there?
No. It's a rental property that's been vacant for a year now.
Anything about that size?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
So that's strange. And that's last night. That's early this morning.
It's at 2:30.
Anything get any other movement back there?
Let's see. This should keep it. I wonder how. I have that owners of that house. I have his number.
Okay.
He lives in Plano.
Detectives have their first clue. The video shows an adult male wandering around the yard of a vacant house at 2 a.m. Not a good look. And especially not a good look just a few hours before the owner of the house next door is murdered. Jennifer seems shocked here that someone has been caught on camera. However, it's not because she's afraid the person on the camera is the killer. It's because she knows he is.
Did you guys get the plate number off the truck? I know somebody died a picture.
It's blurry. We're trying to see if I can put it.
Absolutely. If she has anything to do with her husband being shot and she had a killer or she knows the killer, of course she's going to be nervous that he's actually being seen on the cameras, right? Because now when they go hunting for him and then they bring him in, what is he going to do? He's either, number one, going to squeal, right? He's going to tell who hired him, or he's going to tell the reason why he did it. And once they find out he has any connection to her, she's screwed. So this is why this is what they're saying is very important, because like I said, she was so willing to show what was on her Ring cameras because she already had the videos that she wanted to show them. All the videos that made it seem like, oh, this is what happened. Yeah, somebody came and they was ready to do this and ready to do that. However, she didn't scrub enough, really, and see, did she leave out that particular video? But that particular video did actually catch someone in the back snooping around. Let's see what happens next. This is getting very interesting.
Is someone with my daughter?
The officers, they're right there. Right there where she's not by herself.
Those two are like peas in a pod.
I'm sorry, what you saying?
Those two are like peas in a pod.
Yeah.
It's like, that is her dad. I mean, he adopted her. He's raised her since she was 7. And he always used to call her his partner in crime.
So, okay, let's look at this camera some more. Camera footage.
Jennifer and the detective go over the cameras for the past few days, but don't uncover anything of note.
So are you at home all day, every day?
Yeah. All three of us are.
Okay. And nothing strange within the last few weeks. No one suspicious person calls or anything like that.
The only thing, so Emery, one of the neighbors that was out with us today, he lives on the one house north of Clarendon.
Mm-hmm.
He was just telling us 2 nights ago that he's been having stuff stolen off his front porch, and he asked us if we'd had anything stolen because we have the nice rocking chairs and the table out there and stuff, and somebody stole their chairs. And we said no, we had it, and he made a joke. He's like, I came from Chicago, and because they just moved from Chicago a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we never had anything of that like that happen there, and we come here and things are getting taken.
Mm-hmm. As far as
when I report, we hear gunshots all the time in that neighborhood. I've called and reported gunshots. All of us neighbors kind of do. And then, but we've never had disagreements with anybody. We've developed a really nice community. I love our neighborhood. Our street is like a quiet one. We all look out for each other. We've been to parties at each other's houses. We closed down last year. This time we got everybody to sign a petition and had a block party for Halloween and set up stations for all the kids. And I don't understand. He didn't have anything with him, but the guy didn't even touch him, unless it happened before I turned around, but there is no noise, there were no voices, there was nothing, there was no demands, there was nothing.
But he just, only reason why you felt like he was trying to because he was trying to take your reins off and stuff like that, trying to rob you.
And my phone, I always keep my phone in the side pocket, and I don't think you ever would know that it's there.
Like, it's like a little bit disturbing, right? Because one minute she's like, oh, the neighbor up the block, their chairs gotten stolen, like their patio chairs and stuff was stolen, and they came to you asking, have you had anything stolen or your packages have been stolen? So in one breath, you're saying that there is some criminal activity that's happening in your neighborhood, but then in the same breath, you're saying y'all are such a tight-knit community, nothing never happens. Your street is the most quietest street out of the whole community. You set up Halloween events where y'all shut down and you have a block party and all the stuff like that. So it's just like, which one is it? Which one is it, lady? Do you have criminal activities that happens in your community, or is your community the best kept secret on God's green earth? Like, there's nothing happening over there. Everybody knows everybody, and mind you, I'm not saying that's not the case, right? Because even when I was raised and I was growing up, everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody house. Shoot. My what did you call it? Junior high school. My junior high school, what is he called? The dean? I think he's called a dean. Yeah, my junior high school dean literally lived right next to me. Like, I'm telling you, I couldn't do anything wrong. There was no doing anything wrong when your dean lives right next to you. Okay, they're going straight to your parents. So I get it, right? In some situations, it's like that. But all of this is happening, and then she keeps on alluding to he went after her rings. But okay, so if he went after your rings, why didn't he touch your husband after shooting him? Why didn't he check his pockets? Why didn't he take his money? Then you also proceeded to say that he didn't have nothing on him. Well, ma'am, how do you know he didn't have nothing on him? How do you know that your husband didn't have a weapon? How do you know? And then on top of that, you said, like you're saying he didn't touch him. How do you know he didn't touch him? I thought you was all in shock and everything. And then on top of that, you didn't even run away. There's a lot of things that's happening. Yeah. Yeah, Freezy. She really thinks that she do. She thinks she's gonna cry this away. Yep. And like exactly, I couldn't do nothing, Mr. Freezy. I could not do anything. Our whole dean was right next door. Oh my God. Forget about it. Let's go on.
Because it's way back. So.
And you said, how many times did he hit you?
Oh my God.
Was he trying to hit you? Was he hitting you hard?
Hard. And he kept trying to get my face, and I kept rolling over, and he kept yanking my shoulder. He was hitting my side of my body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was a lot. I don't even.
Mm-hmm.
I had some hard, like fist slaps to my face, but not like that, like that.
Mm-hmm. And as far as like, did he at any point in time point the gun at you, or?
I don't know. I remember seeing the gun. I mean, my eyes were open and closed, and it was.
Did you walk over after he left? Did you walk back over to your husband? Did you?
No, I was taped, and I was sitting there. And
so he turned you on your back and taped your hands like this?
Yes. He was like on top of me.
Was he strong, or was it?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
So was he pretty heavy, or?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it was a lot of weight. I just remember struggling
Mm-hmm.
and yelling no and screaming and hoping that the neighbors would hear me.
Mm-hmm.
I was kicking.
Okay, again, like I said, her story is not really sounding believable. Definitely not believable to me because like I said, the man already drew his weapon and he already shot your husband 6 times in front of you. Okay? This is what you said. Y'all was walking to your car. Your husband was walking behind you. You said your husband was walking behind you because he likes to open up the door or, checks his 6 and 9 to make sure that everything's okay. You said that you heard running. All of a sudden, this man comes up behind your husband. Husband turns around. There wasn't no struggle because he automatically just shot him 6 times. So now you're saying that he did all this shuffling and he didn't put a gun in your face. He decides to put the gun away and just tie you up with tape in broad daylight. That literally takes about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And that's depending on the skill of the individual. It takes time to literally tape someone up and tape their hands like this. You said that you was fighting and you was struggling with him. So you mean at no point did this man ever brandish the gun in your face? You was screaming, you was hollering, nobody heard you, it's broad daylight, and you're telling me at no point did he ever brandish the gun in your face, but he shot your husband without saying any word. There was no confrontation, there was no struggle, there was no reaching for the gun. It seems very planned. It seemed very planned. He intended to unalive your husband, which he did, and he intended not to unalive you or harm you in any form or fashion. This is what it shows. Let's go on.
And he had my hands and he kept pulling at my rings, and they don't come off that easily. And then he taped my hands. And I don't remember what.
As far as like your husband's cell phone, it's at the house right now?
It's at the house.
Or is there, do you mind if I hold on to it for a few days and see
No,
it?
that's fine.
Does he have a password on it?
Yeah, but I think I have it.
Okay, because I just want to make sure to see if anybody try to make threats or anything like that to him.
Yeah.
Or if anything strange. Would your husband, if there was something serious or something that, would your husband tell you, or would he be something like he don't want to bother you?
Oh God, no. We tell each other everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Well, not everything. Detectives were quickly able to search through Jamie's phone, but they found absolutely nothing suspicious on it. He wasn't texting other women, buying substances, arguing with anyone, or gambling. The same couldn't be said for Jennifer's phone. despite the act that she's about to put on for law enforcement when she talks about how wonderful their marriage was.
What happens from here, like?
So, right now, the medical examiner, they're going to pick up his body, okay, and they're going to perform an autopsy. From there, then, of course, they'll give you some time. But normally, they should be completed with the autopsy. If they don't get to it today, definitely tomorrow. They'll be contacting you guys, and then, you guys, during this time, contact whatever funeral home you decide. And that way we can, you try the funeral arrangements can be made. So I don't know if he's going back to, his hometown where he was born and raised, or if you guys gonna do it down here. But as far as like his parents,
You have to just call Hitler.
yeah, that's one of this where I would
Can you give them your information?
yeah, definitely.
I need your information.
Yeah, I'll give you one of my cards in a
Okay.
minute. Now, before you leave out, you'll have all my information, okay?
Is there any way I can see him at any point in time?
Yes, you'll be able to see him.
Just say goodbye.
You'll be able to see him once he goes to the funeral home. At the funeral home, they'll be able to call you, and you'll be able to, go and do all your finals, okay?
Oh my God.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Like, I'm sorry.
No, you don't have anything to be sorry about. I apologize to you that you guys have experienced that, only thing you guys trying to do is live life, you know what I mean? And someone like this.
Such a good life, too. My daughter and I were through the ringer before we met him, and he was my best friend, and such a good relationship and marriage, and we traveled together, we had all these plans. We have a cruise booked into 2022. We just booked it with our best friends.
Yeah, so what I'm getting for the detective, he's not really buying it, but he's going on with the act to make her feel comfortable, right? The simple fact is that she's doing too much, if that's the terms that most people like to use. She's trying to paint on the picture that y'all had this wonderful, fabulous marriage. Everything was wonderful, everything is perfect, no drama, no strife, no nothing. And she's trying to lay it on thick, right? Let them know about their plans of going to a cruise in the next year or so. And that's a little bit too much, because it's instead of all this time while you're crying and stuff, when he's trying to ask you questions about what happened and what did this shooter do, and when he came across you and how was he laying on you, when he's trying to ask you these details, all of a sudden you're like, I don't know, I can't remember, everything went blank and all the stuff like that. But then now, and you go out into a whole bunch of tears. But then now, when it's about you trying to explain about this shooter supposedly wanting your rings, and he was adamant about trying to take your wedding ring off, right? You're not crying then. You're able to keep your voice and your tone when you want to explain how fabulous your marriage was, right? You're not crying and sobbing out of control then. It's like that. To me, that runs red flags. I don't know if it does for anybody else, but to me, it's like a red flag thing. And then, like I said, if you're trying to lead on that this was potentially a robbery, how come the man never touched your husband? He shot him 6 times, and you mean to tell me he didn't check his pockets? He didn't get his wallet? He didn't even take his cell phone. You have his cell phone. He didn't take anything off your husband, but this is supposed to be some robbery. But then so far, when he come across you, he didn't want to shoot you. He ties you up, but then he's trying to steal your rings, your wedding rings and stuff off your finger, ma'am. It's really not believable. It seems too planned out for me. Let's go.
What am I gonna do?
I'll be praying for you and your family.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
I know one thing about it is, when you're going through these times, what I do, and when there's any tension, I just trust that the good Lord's going to bring everything to make everything okay. And that's what I tell you.
My daughter.
That's what I tell you. One thing now, we have to stand strong on our faith and trust and pray that God is going to make a way, because I know He's not going to put more on you than you can bear. But one thing I do is just, if you trust Him and you pray, God will bring you and ease your heart. I've been through a lot as well, but never nothing like this. But I've had my fair share of things that occur in my life, and would always help me through when I lean on God. Sometimes we don't always know the answers and always know why these type of things that happen to us. But at the end, I guarantee you, God will come through for me. He always does. Never let me down. And I know He won't let you down. So I tell you this, just continue to pray for me as I work your husband's case and yours case. And I guarantee I'll be keeping communication with you. But the biggest thing is, we got to get down to the bottom of it.
When the detective leaves after giving her such a heartwarming, comforting speech, Jennifer's daughter enters the room. Then, Jennifer calls Jamie's sister. The speech she gives to her is a lot less comforting.
Lori? Hi, can you hear me? Lori? Hello? Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, I can now. Jamie and I were attacked this morning, and somebody shot Jamie and killed him. We're at the police station. We take Maggie for our walk every morning, and we left the house, and somebody came up and shot him, and he's gone. I don't know. And the police have been working on it all morning, but they haven't found anybody yet. And I don't know how to tell your parents, and I'm so sorry. Are you there? Are you there? Hello? Yes, shot. They shot him like 6 times and through the head. He's gone. He's gone. I'm so sorry. She's with me. I have her. She's with me. I don't know.
Hey, Brittany, how are you doing?
Just wait, because I don't know what the detective. I need to talk to the detective more. They're gonna do an autopsy, and they're not releasing his body for a little while, and so. I don't know either. I don't know. Should I? Do you want me to call them with you, or what? Take a little. Okay. I'm sorry. And I felt so bad because I couldn't get a good look at the person, and I feel so stupid talking to the detective because all I could say was that he was dark. I mean, like, he wore dark clothing. I couldn't even see his face. I don't even know what ethnicity he was. I just have no help.
Ma'am, this happened in broad daylight. This attack happened in broad daylight. You and your husband was supposed to be going to go take your dog for a walk. You said that he was wearing all these dark clothing and you couldn't see his face. But you showed a video to the detective about someone snooping around a vacant house that is adjacent to your house in the backyard, that it seemed like he came from that way. And when we looked at the video, the guy had on jeans and he had on like orange clothing. So you telling me that he was wearing all black and in a mask? Like, this been happening in broad daylight. What is she talking about? But then you now tell the sister on the phone that he was shot in the head. Oh, you remember that though, right? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So Brittany B says, oh, okay. Yeah. It's very interesting, right? It really is. It's a very interesting thing to go over. But let's go on. Like, I'm not believing this lady one bit. Now all of a sudden you knew deliberately that your husband got shot in the head, that the guy shot 6 times. Like the stories that she's telling, he didn't all of a sudden. He wanted your rings, but he didn't go check to see if your husband had money. He didn't go after your husband's wallet. He didn't take your husband's phone, but he killed your husband. But he didn't take any of his items. But only you, he leaves alive. He purposely duct tape you like this, like she said, and he's trying to take your ring fingers, your wedding rings. Okay, lady. Let's go on.
The neighbors. Oh yeah. The neighbors. Some of the neighbors got a picture of the truck, I guess, that the person got into or drove off. I don't know. So they're looking for. They
hey,
have
Miss
that
Jalen,
photo.
how you
They're
doing?
looking for that. I wish I could read my phone more. I remember getting a glimpse of the truck, but I don't remember it being there before. So it means there was more than one person, right? Mm-hmm. Outside. I just feel like I'm not helping. Like, he asked me, like, the stupid pictures in the ring video, how am I supposed to tell if that could be the person that attacked me? I don't know. How does anybody tell? I couldn't see the person. Maybe we still have the neighbors or something. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be really strong and I'm just having a hard time.
The only stupid thing about the video of the man in Jennifer's backyard is that she allowed it to be discovered at all. Because of course, she knows exactly who the man in the photo is. After all, she invited him over. After spending some time in the police station, Jennifer and her daughter were released to take care of themselves, grieve, and tend to any funeral arrangements that needed immediate attention. In the weeks that followed, Jennifer essentially did a media tour with the local police department, appearing on television several times to beg for her husband's killer to be brought to justice.
It's been horrible. Devastating. I teeter between completely heartbroken and completely devastated every day.
If anybody knows anything, please contact the detective.
Despite Jennifer knowing absolutely everything, it was the detectives who soon contacted her, and they had a lot to say.
Like I said, Jeff, I appreciate you coming down here, talking to me. As you
So I'm figuring what's going to happen now. They probably went over all her videos and her Ring camera. And since she already notified him about this guy snooping around in the backyard, they're going to see, have they seen this guy come to her house before? And they probably found on her Ring camera that this guy was actually welcomed in her house before one time when her husband wasn't there. And this is the supposed quote unquote killer. So that's what it's going to see. But I know she's going to try to explain this away and probably say that she doesn't even know who this man is. And I never seen him in my life. Let's go.
You know, I'm trying to get down to the bottom of this investigation. Okay. Today my goal is I want to go through everything. All right. So we'll probably be here for a while.
Okay.
Okay. Start to finish, even leading up to. Okay.
Okay.
In that way, I want to make sure that I have a full understanding of everything, because we've talked several times. I mean, we've done interviews together, TV interviews. We've met. You know, we've been a lot of communication that's gone on between us. But my goal today is to go through everything, so that way, some of the things that I've discovered, we want to make sure that we bring them to light, okay? So I want to go back to that, and I know we listen to this, but I want to be able to be on the same page that day.
Okay.
So you guys walk out the house. All right. That was that day. As soon as you walk out the house, all right. During these moments.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. So during these moments, you guys walk out the house. You say you smacking around, playing around a little bit.
That was like probably a good 5 or 10 minutes before we walked out of the house. Other than that, it was just, you know, us getting dressed, getting ready, getting the dog put together, getting her leash on.
Right. So during that time when you walked out the house, this terrible thing happened. The guy, what did he look like?
Oh my God, I keep remembering everything. Okay. I just remember. All I can really remember are his eyes, the black eyes, like just black, like not like in color, but like the pupils were really dilated. I remember a bright blue mask, like electric blue color mask.
Okay. And this guy?
Aside from that, I feel like he was like just covered head to toe. I couldn't make out even skin color.
Did you, and I know based on,
Sorry.
Did you see him, where did you see him go afterwards?
Okay, so,
I know when you first, go ahead.
yeah. So this is one of the questions that I had for you too, is that I don't remember, okay, I'll tell you, I'll answer your question first. So I was up on the driveway of the neighbor's house. I thought I was on my own driveway for some reason, but I was on the neighbor's house. And I was taped together. I remember hearing screeching, and it made me look up, and that's when I saw the truck, and that's where he got into, was the truck.
So you did see the truck, because I know at first you told me you didn't see the truck.
I didn't see it immediately. All of a sudden it was just there. It wasn't something that I noticed when we walked out or anything. And it didn't register with me when he was shooting Jamie, it didn't register with me that there was anything parked there. And so that's why I had almost felt like somebody had pulled up to pick him up.
So you know, just to back up a little bit, when you saw him holding gun to Jamie, Jamie was like this?
Yes. Walking backwards like this.
Oh, like this? So
No.
He's like this? Jamie, do you remember him saying anything to him?
No. It was just quiet.
Okay.
He didn't say anything. He just shot.
All right. Did he stand over him and shoot like this?
No. It was... No.
So Jamie was like this and he just shot?
Yep. And they were probably...
So say for me, so a distance
6 feet apart.
So was it not this far apart?
A little bit further, actually.
So about right here.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. So what was happening was Jamie was walking backwards, and he kept going forward.
So I'm Jamie.
Yeah.
Walking. So.
Back further.
Okay.
Right there. And
So
he was just this way.
It's
Shooting, walking, not running, walking toward him.
Okay.
And I was just my eyes were on Jamie. I was just watching the fire shot, like the gunfire. Yeah.
And Jennifer, I want to go in because this is this case is one of those cases where it's like, man, we talking about a guy who had no enemies, right?
Well aware.
Right. That.
It's such a shame that the guy who has no enemies don't even know that his true enemy is the one that he's living with. I think that's the saddest part about it, right? Because she's saying that her husband was walking back with his arms back because he sees the guy. So you say that he didn't hear him say anything? Not even your husband say, "Whoa, hey, what's going on?" or anything. The guy didn't say nothing to him, and he's walking backwards, and the guy is going forward with him until he decides that he wanted to shoot him. Now, I don't know if you guys heard, but when the detective played the video of when the actual shooting happened, it was literally within seconds of them getting out of the house that you hear the shots on the video ringing off. So when did all that happen? When did all this moving back and him going forward, when did all that happen? And then she said that she's seen a black truck, but she never she said that she didn't think that this black truck was anything, suspicious. She thought that was just a black truck that's going to pick someone up. But one minute you say you don't see anything. One minute you say you can't see that person's, you couldn't see that person's face. You don't know that person's ethnicity, but yet you see that he has black eyes. And then you try to allude that the person who shot him, his pupils were dilated, meaning that he could have been on some substance. That is what you're trying to allude for. Because remember, her whole case is that this was a robbery. This was an armed robbery that went wrong, and the guy tried to rob them in broad daylight. That's her story that she's been telling the detective for the past 3 days since they've been investigating it. But the robber didn't check his pockets. He didn't steal anything from your husband once he shot him. He didn't check his pockets or nothing. He had enough time to put his gun back in his case or wherever he had it, where he ran up to you, decided not to brandish the gun in your face, but he decided to take duct tape out of his pocket to duct tape your hands together and put you on a neighbor's couch, and you telling me that you didn't see nothing. You can't even tell what his skin complexion is, meaning you can't even tell what ethnicity this man is or what race this man is. Nothing. You can't see nothing. But then now all of a sudden you saw when he hopped into the black truck. So while you saw him hopping into the black truck, you mean to tell me that there's no descriptive of what or who you saw going into the black truck? And then now it seemed like she wants to question the detective with certain questionings, and that's a form of defense, right? Because she's trying not to give the detectives any more information or detail, saying, I don't know, I don't remember. But then now she's being a little bit defensive because she wants to ask the detective questions, as in to question him or question his why is he questioning these particular things in this situation. Let's go on.
We know, we've spoken to a lot of people, and people are pretty much consistent on this. You and your relationship, I know we spoke about your relationship before. All right. You described your relationship as you guys being the best of friends.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You guys were, as far as like your relationship.
Still very much in love, so yeah.
So as far as like with Jamie, first day you met him, when did you meet him? What year?
I actually met him October 8th, 2005. So it was the day before this happened. It had been 15 years. Yeah. And we met on a blind date.
So met on a blind date?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Who set you up?
Our best friends, well, some of our best friends. So Jeremy Gebler, who I think you've spoken with, and his wife. So I worked with his wife, and Jeremy worked with Jamie.
Okay, and so they kind of set you guys up.
Yeah.
So what did Jamie do before you guys met?
In terms of what? In terms of
Work.
work? Oh, he was, well, when we met, he was the director of IT or something along those lines for a small company called Shaunessy.
Okay. And Amber was how old at the time?
She was 8. Is that right? 2005. She was 8.
He pretty much took on your daughter as his own.
Absolutely.
Right. Never any signs of unfaithfulness in your relationship.
No.
So I know we spoke on the time where you said you suspected that he was unfaithful in your relationship, but then you realized that it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, and I didn't even have like suspicions in terms of that there was somebody or in his behavior. It was more that our life was starting to wane off, and so, and you know, I mean, typical woman, I'm like, is it because I've gained weight? Because I had gained a lot of weight since we first met, and he's saying no, and so I just couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure out, like, as a man, how he could go for such stretches of time without having sex, you know, and so I thought, well, maybe there's somebody else, and...
And what was this?
Oh, gosh. On and off, really, for a couple years. It really started after, I guess in 2009, after we bought our house.
Okay.
Because we had a condo that we had owned, well, Jamie had owned it, and then we kept that, rented it out, and bought a house together in Phoenix.
Okay, and then from Phoenix, then that's when you guys moved here.
Yeah, so we lived in that house until 2017, and then moved here in 2017.
Okay, and your relationship has it always, you know, other than that, I mean, you say, other than, you know, he's always been faithful. What about yourself?
I've always been faithful.
So, and that's what I'm saying, we want to make sure, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing, I mean, if there were anything, I mean, that's where we can, you know, hey, I need to know, you know what I mean?
I know.
Because these things you think about, you just walking outside your house.
Right.
Right? Somebody comes and, you know, kills your husband.
Right.
You know?
I've thought about that too, that maybe it was somebody
right.
associated with me.
Yeah, and as far as like, you know, you haven't had any kind of, you know, sexual relationships, any dating anybody over the phone, anything?
No.
Okay. And
that's the video of Jalen. Who alarm is beeping? That alarm in that building is beeping.
It's nothing.
But
and
nobody,
Jamie knows all of them. I mean,
right.
so.
But nobody that you are intimate with, where they say, hey, we're definitely gonna be intimate, you know, or something planned, anything like that, right?
No.
All right.
The detective begins to go through people they know who could potentially be suspects. In the sea of old coworkers, fired employees, and friends and family, the officer casually brings up one name.
So the employees of the AAA that were terminated, the gamer, Mike Lennox, Dan Turco, Jeff Jensen, Erica DeLeon. Have you ever heard of a name? Is it Darren
Lopez. Yeah.
Who is Darren?
He's one of my best friends. We dated in high school, and but he doesn't know Jamie. I haven't seen him, and I mean, we talk on the phone every day at this point, but
I want y'all to see how she thinks she's slick, right? So what she's realizing is that the detectives already have the text messages and voice messages between her and this particular guy. And she's trying to allude now that she realizes that they know there's a connection with this particular guy. Now she's trying to say, oh, he's an old boyfriend from way back in school. I haven't seen him in years, but I talk to him every single day. He's my best friend. Anything to try to allude to them still having an intimate relationship that last throughout the years while she was being married. She's hip on the fact that the detectives know that there is a link between this person. So now she's trying to get ahead of the rest of the interrogation questions that the detectives is going to ask her.
We dated in high school, and then we dated like 3 years into college.
Okay, so how long? So when did you meet? When did you meet Daryl?
1986. I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay. So you guys met in high school, and tell me a little bit about Daryl, because I think that's the only one that I pretty much didn't have, but I kind of stumbled up on his name.
Okay. Let's see. I lost contact with him in '93. We broke up. We lived in Flagstaff.
So 86 through 1993.
Yeah.
Y'all lived together?
Oh no.
Okay. You lived in Flagstaff?
Yeah. I was in a dorm.
And his name Darren Lopez, you said? Is it Darrin?
Yes.
Lopez? Okay. And he went to 9 through 12, right?
Yeah.
And that's South Point Catholic School?
Yes.
High school?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as you guys' dating relationship, how did you all meet?
We met through jazz band. We were both in jazz band together in high school, and he had a girlfriend at the time. I had a boyfriend at the time, and then he and his girlfriend broke up. Me and my boyfriend broke up, and then we ended up we were music ambassadors for a class trip to Europe, and we ended up starting dating after that.
So y'all started dating?
That was in 1989. I went to Northern Arizona University for college, and so did he. He ended up...
You said Northern?
Yeah, Northern Arizona University. And then he ended up dropping out after his freshman year, and he joined the military.
Okay.
We saw each other a few times before he left for active duty. I know the last
Golly,
time I
my
saw
military
him was
dudes are
August
not
of
getting a
93.
break. Jeez.
Yeah. And then, since that time, he and I reconnected this last year. He contacted me and said that, just, how you find people on social media. And
So Jamie was still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before COVID, so I want to say maybe January, February. And so we reconnected, and then he had gotten married to a lady that had 2 kids, and he said he did that like pretty soon after he left Flagstaff. So, and they were still married. I think he's going through a messy divorce right now. So that's why we've been talking a lot.
Okay. When did you guys start actually just communicating a lot?
Pretty much right away.
So after Jamie had passed away, got killed?
Oh, but even before that.
So
yeah. And Jamie knew about him and everything. We had talked about all getting together and stuff, and so they could meet.
And question, so he never met Jamie?
No.
All right, but you had communication with him?
Yes.
Right. All right.
But I haven't physically seen him either.
Right. So as far as like the conversations that you guys had, what type of conversation? Because you think, and I want to make sure, Jennifer, and this is where I want to make sure that me and you are on the same page.
Are you suspecting him of something?
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page, Jennifer. And I'm gonna tell you, because love will make you do some crazy things. You hear me?
Yeah.
Love will make you do some crazy things. And as far as like with Darren, I mean, you and him, y'all dated. Were there ever any talks about taking the relationship serious?
When we first dated?
Yeah, when y'all dated.
Yeah.
So when you say what kind of serious, how serious?
Oh, we like at one point were talking about getting married.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when?
Oh, when we were at Northern Arizona University. I mean, that was kind of the plan. So then I met Amber's biological dad.
Right. And
see, this is when she's messing up, right? Because of the simple fact is that this is a past boyfriend so many years ago. You got married. He supposedly got married. Then all of a sudden, y'all linked up before the pandemic occurred, and y'all been talking ever since. You said that you've been talking with him every day. He's asking you, what are y'all talking about every single day? Apparently, he's your best friend. But this is a best friend that your husband never met, and your husband is okay with you being on the phone with another married man all the entire time. And then you trying to say that, oh, y'all was supposed to link up and all that stuff. Well, how y'all was going to link up when it's literally the pandemic? Where y'all linking up to? The most people wasn't even going outside at that time. So I'm not buying her story. You sitting on the phone. This person was in your past for years, and now all of a sudden y'all just jump right back. But she doesn't know that she's messing up because she's letting him know how serious their relationship was. That this was a person that you were supposed to be married to. You was with him for 3, I think maybe 3 years, 3-4 years. And then y'all got back in tune with each other through, I guess, Facebook messages, or you might know this person. You know how they have that little pop-up notification. So again, you're showing that there's a deep connection between you and this man, and that y'all rekindled something. And you really want him to believe that y'all rekindled something that is just platonic, right? And I'm gonna just tell you this, like, even with any of the exes I had that I was cool with, they knew not to talk to me, especially when it was time for when I was in a relationship and the ex came and ran around trying to see if I was stuck on stupid. I'll be like, hey, we're cool. I hope everything's going good with your life. But there is no communication. There is no talking behind the scene. I'm in a relationship. You ain't even trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not even trying to entertain that, especially if you have history with that person. So it's not really making sense to the detective that y'all was just so close. Y'all rekindled back, but it was no talks about anything else or no lovey-dovey. He's not buying it, and I'm not buying it either. Because if you're entertaining that like that, something's going on. Let's go on.
So I broke it off with him.
All right. So as far as...
and then he jumped into a marriage.
Jennifer and Darren were high school sweethearts, just as she has told detectives. They went to prom together, had plans of marriage, and were planning a future together, until Jennifer met someone else. Darren went on to serve 6 deployments in Iraq and earned a Purple Heart after he suffered a traumatic brain injury in combat. In March of 2020, 7 months before Jamie was killed, he reconnected with Jennifer. And though Jennifer admits to having frequent conversations with Darren, she's underselling just how frequently. In one 12-day period, the pair exchanged close to 6,000 text messages.
So when he first reached out to you, what was the conversation like?
Just wanted to reconnect, find his old friend.
Mm-hmm.
He reached out to me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, at first I wanted to make sure it was him, and I'm like, how do I know this is really you? And he goes, well, how about if I call you Angel and say as you wish?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this, because he always called me Angel when we were dating.
Mm-hmm.
We lived the Princess Bride, so it was a line from that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah. So I sent him my email, and I said, email me and let me know how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that. We just started chatting, catching up. He was telling me all about his girls.
Mm-hmm.
He has full custody of his girls right now. Their mom is a disaster and has kicked them all out of the house. And so I've had conversations with his kids because they really have no other female figure really. So they're all teenage girls.
So if you can, the relationship, Jamie knew about Darren?
Mm-hmm.
He knew that he was your ex?
Yes.
Okay. Now how
Jamie
was that?
was not a jealous person at all, in any way, shape, or form.
Even when you guys, before Jamie died, as far as like the relationship that you and Darren had,
Mm-hmm.
all right? How was that? How was it? Was it strictly on a friendship level, or was there any kind of talk, intimate talk, or anything like that?
It wasn't intimate talk. I mean, definitely Darren and I had said, oh gosh, these are rekindling old feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie and I had had a conversation about that too. And Jamie was, kind of like, this is really different for us. This is new. And so, And that's just not me. That's not my MO. It's not anything I wouldn't want to hurt Jamie in any way, shape, or form. And those were feelings from the past. So that's, yeah. So I just.
So as far as like your relationship with him now, has anything changed?
No, he's being very, very respectful. I think he probably does have, some
Thank
feelings.
you, young Riaz. I
He's
appreciate
being
you.
very respectful and letting me have my time.
Okay, and with you?
And he's going through his own stuff too with his divorce.
And what about with you?
With me in terms of what?
How do you feel about him?
I don't know. I'm just it's too much for me to even think about right now.
Jennifer's texts, which at this point had already been reviewed by law enforcement, said otherwise. Personally, I don't tend to send platonic friends messages like these.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Jennifer, one thing about,
Did y'all see those text messages? Did y'all see those text messages? And she literally sitting up here saying, no, I don't do nothing like that. That's not like that. They was talking about, I can't wait to feel your cum and all this stuff. I love you so much. And that doesn't platonic friends don't talk like that to each other, ma'am. Okay? I have exes that I'm strictly platonic with. We don't talk like that. All right? If it's like, hey, how you doing? Good. Everything good? All right, good. Happy birthday. Happy New Year. Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. That is it. It's very short and sweet. The simple fact that you was having these type of conversations and over thousands of messages with this individual, and you really believe that I'm going to believe that your husband was okay with that? You really believe that it has nothing about being jealous, right? It's just the simple fact is that your husband is literally supposed to be your male best friend, right? I will hope that people believe that and their partners is their best friend, or just in the opposite sex, like just the opposite gender, but they still their best friend. I hope people are having those type of relationships, right? You telling me that he was okay with you literally texting thousands of messages with another man, and he knew about it, and he was just like, oh, everything's fine? You really want me to believe that? And the simple fact is that the detectives already have these messages, and you're sitting up here saying that you wasn't sending any of those type of text messages to this guy. This is where it starts to get very tricky for you, because now you're going to have to start lying. And now you're going to have to start making things up. And then eventually she's going to get into defense mode, and try to gaslight him. I'm not doing it. How dare you? And watch. Let's just go on.
One thing about this investigation, that's why one thing I want me and you to be honest with each other, because, this has been a long, drawn-out investigation, okay? The only way that I know that we're going to always maintain being on the same page is if we're completely honest with each other.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have nothing to hide. I've always treated you kindly, right?
Yeah. I feel like the communication wasn't always there, but I understand that you can't always communicate what you do.
But at the same time, we communicated quite a bit. We did tentative TV interviews together. We spoke. We emailed. We text messaged. We did a lot of things, right? Going back, everybody loves Jamie.
Yeah.
So you think to ask yourself the question: why would somebody want to kill him?
Right.
Right. Jennifer, if I were to tell you, as far as like, I know that there's more to you and Darren's relationship, what would you say about that?
I don't know what more you're talking about.
Jennifer, as far as like you and Darren have been having, and I'll I'll get to that in just a second. So as far as your relationship with Darren, and that's why they call it investigations. And we got to be on the same page, Jennifer.
Yeah.
And I need to make sure that you're honest with me, because I feel that you're telling me some things, but at the same time, I feel like that there are a lot of things that you're leaving out. And me personally, in my heart, I believe that you knew what happened that day. I really do. Jennifer, you said that there was no connection. I asked you earlier if you were having an affair or were cheating on Darren.
On Darren, no.
Not Darren, I'm sorry, but on Jamie, right? Okay. So you said, so I have no idea, when you said this to your friend Tina, you said, I have no idea when I'm going to be able to talk to you over the phone, but I'm pretty much having a full-blown emotional affair. All right? These are text messages before, and I understand you said you were having,
Hey sis, how you
Jamie,
doing? Good to see
he knew
you.
about it, but he was sad about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You confirmed that you said this guy dated in high school and college,
Mm-hmm.
right? We broke up because we finished school, and after he got out of base training, he was deployed to South Korea. You said that?
Correct.
All right. But the thing that's striking to me is that you said in one of your text messages that he's already, A, planning on me being there, and B, you coming to visit. That's what you told her.
This was so at the very beginning of things,
Hold on, because, and then another thing that's very striking, you told Tina that he has a 5-year plan on how y'all want to be together. So, go ahead.
Yes, at the beginning, and that's what I told you, the emotions were very strong. And that's what he had said initially, is that once Hope, his youngest daughter, had graduated high school, maybe we could figure something out that made sense for all of us, that kind of thing. But I put a stop to it because of my relationship with my husband, who I was very much in love with.
Right. You put a stop to it back in August, but then it picked back up. August the 6th, Tina said to Jim, she said, you still talking to that guy? You responded, I put the brakes on him.
Yeah.
And said Jane was so hurt and internalizing everything, I just couldn't do it to him. But you told me that early on that you still continued to talk to him. You said even so, just as we're talking now. Yes.
As friends.
Right. But Jennifer, if I were to tell you I have other text messages that say something different between you all, because you got to understand.
I'm concerned that I'm concerned that Darren has anything to do with this. Is there anything that's leading you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So
the other thing I'm concerned about is the fact that you're saying I knew everything that took place that day.
Let's keep on. Okay. Like I told you, Jennifer, I want to go deep in this investigation. I want to go deep in this interview. Okay. All right.
See, now she's starting to get defensive, right? She's starting to get defensive. This is what they tend to do. And she doesn't know what he's doing is very strategic. It was the way why he entered the interrogation that way. Calm, very sympathetic, hearing her out, let her tell all her stories, everything that she wanted them to know about her, have her paint on how wonderful her relationship is, also have her paint on her actual deep connection with the guy that was from her past, but she's in a full-blown relationship that she said that she's so happy. But then she said that the guy tried to, come back in her life and he wanted to be together with her and stuff like that. She said that she put a stop to it. But the funny thing about it is she wasn't only having this conversation with the guy, she was having this conversation with her girlfriend. So those were messages that she wasn't expecting the detectives to also look at. What other communications was you having with other people at that time? And it's clear to see that the girlfriend knew that you were having a deeper relationship or connection with this guy, and not this friendship blast from the past of an ex-boyfriend that you're trying to make the detectives believe that that's what happened. And this is why I say a lot of these people are very messy, right? Even though the simple fact is it wouldn't matter if she deleted these messages, the detectives and investigators, they all have systems where they can take your phone and they can get into the cache and take all the messages that you have deleted. They have the story, they have the storage, they have the memory to get anything that you deleted off your phone that you think is gone is really not gone, right? They have a system that they can do that. Most people don't know that, but they do. And then on top of that is that she thought that putting out there the things that she wants them to go and investigate was going to be enough information for them to follow that trail and them not to do their due diligence and following what was going on in your phone, what was going on in your husband's phone, who was the last couple of people that y'all was talking to leading up to this situation. They have to do a thorough investigation. This is when you're doing a real thorough investigation to put the pieces together. And now when it's starting to link up, and he said that I completely believe that you knew exactly what was happening, what was going on. She didn't like it that much. She didn't like it that much. So now she's getting combative. Let's go on.
So the text messages alone. Do you know you say you're just friends?
Hey, Black Beauty, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you.
You guys had over 667 times that you guys called each other, text each other. That's a lot.
667 in one day?
Yes, that's what it says. That's what it shows, based on the records. Because you remember, we have a lot of things. October 6th, 419 times. October 7th, 640 times. All right. On October the 8th, all right, there was 133 times. But then there was a break. So you think about it. The day before.
That's because Jamie was killed at 7:30 in the morning on October 9th.
Right. But think about it. October the 8th. All right. October the 8th, there was a 133 times, but there was a 28 to 29 hour break. Well, it broke the pattern. It was not consistent with what you guys have been doing.
As the detective has stated, Jennifer and Darren had been in contact nearly every day since they initially spoke in March. Yet for 29 hours surrounding the murder of Jennifer's husband, her affair partner suddenly stopped contacting her, and she stopped contacting him. Naturally, police checked phone records, which showed that Darren's phone was turned off the afternoon before Jamie's murder, then turned back on a few hours later. And his phone record showed he was in Texas near the Faith's house when he finally turned on his phone. Detectives could track his journey back to Tennessee soon after the murder took place.
Well, and I said that he's one of my best friends and I'm helping him with his kids and stuff right now, too.
Jennifer, you can call it what you want, but you're a married woman. You hear me? Ain't no way in the world that I'm going to talk to some other woman that many times throughout the day. Not only that, Darren has a Nissan Titan pickup truck, okay? We've been all the time, this whole time we've been thinking that it was a Texas Ranger sticker.
Yeah, what is it?
But you know just like I know, where is Darren from?
Tennessee.
Right.
It's a Tennessee sticker?
This whole time.
Is it the same color?
Same black, same everything. Just like the witnesses took the photos of it, same everything. So you got to think on how I'm feeling. I'm feeling right now.
I didn't know that. It was his truck.
Think about this, Jennifer. You got to think on how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like you tried to play me.
I'm not.
Yes, I did. Yes, and that's the way I feel. I feel like you tried to play me, that you're trying to play me, and this whole time you knew, because I have proof right now that Darren was actually out there at your residence during that day.
How?
Even your Ring camera, when I asked you, what did you say? When we saw that guy on your camera at 2:38 that morning, who did you tell me that was?
The guy across, I told you later after the guy across the street said that it was somebody who lived behind us.
No, that was Darren. And I believe that you knew that.
I don't know that. It doesn't even look familiar.
So she's caught. And now she's in her, I don't know what you're talking about. And I can't remember. And I told you I couldn't remember. So it's perfect, right? Because again, she explained that she got back close in touch with Darren. So you know how this man looks. You got in contact with him on Twitter, email. You said that you was FaceTiming, helping him with his daughters since they don't have a mother figure in his life. So you are well aware of how Darren looks. So when you showed that video to the detective and he asked you who that was, and you said you don't know, and that man didn't even have a mask on at that time, you knew who that was. And you deliberately said that you didn't know who that was. And this is why the detective is coming on thick with her now, because it's at the point where they got all the information and the evidence, and she has buried herself enough with her lies about her not having knowledge of who this is, how deep her relationship was with Darren, when they rekindled back, when the last time she spoke with him. All these lies, they got enough evidence on her where he doesn't have to play nice with her anymore. He doesn't have to play cordial or anything, or I'm an empathetic detective because you just recently lost your husband. He fully understands that she done lied to him through the beginning of this whole interrogation that has lasted for 3 days. And you literally looked at a picture with Darren right in your backyard and said that you didn't know that man. Girl, bye. Let's go on.
Let me tell you something. All right. I believe that was Darren. You knew that was Darren. And at the same time, Darren has a black pickup, Nissan pickup, Titan truck. All right. Everything fitting the same description. Okay. Even the side of your camera's caught this. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that Darren was there.
I didn't. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna tell you even better.
How do you know for a fact it was him?
I have proof to know that he was there.
Okay.
Same thing that he was wearing that day. That gap that you guys had at 28 hours. You got to think about it. The consistency stopped.
Well, I'm trying to think why you would be a gap.
Look at it. We're talking about. We sat and we told the world. We told everybody.
I know.
We sat in front of his parents. We told them.
Because
hey,
I wanted to
but
find
the same guy that killed your husband, Jennifer, is the same guy that you're communicating with every day. You had over 24,000 text messages and calls. 24,000.
I don't work. He's retired. We talk throughout the day.
Jennifer, besides the point, this guy killed your husband.
How do you know that?
Because I have proof. And guess what? Darren right now is currently in jail, locked up for murder right now.
Oh my God.
So my main thing is right now, what is he gonna tell me? Okay, why would he kill this guy?
I don't know.
I even read
it
in the
doesn't
text
even make sense. We haven't even seen each other.
I have proof there's a possibility that he came down there that you guys did see each other.
We've
when
never
you went to
seen each other.
at the memorial. It's a possibility I have the information that he came to the memorial.
Oh my God, no, you're so wrong.
Okay.
You're so wrong.
But I'm gonna tell you like this, Jennifer. I know that Darren committed this offense. I know that Darren killed your husband. He told you we have a 5-year plan. He said we have a 5-year plan on you guys being together. And then the thing about
that was at the very beginning when he was expressing that he still had loved me, all of that stuff, and we were like caught up in old emotions, but I put the brakes on it.
But you didn't put the brakes on because you're still talking to this guy.
Yeah, like what is this lady not getting? Like, what are you talking about? You put the brakes on it, but you was literally talking to him all the way up into the point that your husband got killed. You was speaking to him the day before. They found 233 messages the day before your husband got killed. And then even afterwards, you still texted him. After your husband got killed, you still texted him. but you saying that you put a stop to it. You didn't put a stop to anything. And why would he be talking about a 5-year plan if y'all are not in a relationship? You said that y'all wasn't intimate with each other. You said that y'all just started back rekindling. Y'all found each other on Facebook or whatever not. So what is it? Why would he be talking about a 5-year plan between you and him? Obviously, that means a conversation about having a plan for y'all to be together, was discussed amongst y'all. But you're saying that you're in this very loving, doleful marriage, and you wasn't going to leave your husband, and it wasn't even like that, and you wasn't thinking like that. So what 5-year plan was he talking about he wanted to do with you? Like, this lady is not making any sense at all, and she's literally caught. She's completely caught, and now she's starting to get hysterical because nobody's buying it. All the lying that you have done, they can't buy it anymore. They can't even pretend with you, like, you know more than everything. Yes, we know that you didn't actually physically shoot your husband, right? That's caught on video. But the whole point is, you are the mastermind of why your husband is no longer here.
How could you talk to somebody that you know that killed your husband?
I didn't know he killed my husband. I still don't know that he killed my husband. I wouldn't do that.
Jennifer,
why would I do that?
And that's the question I have for you.
Because
think about it. If
Jamie
and
I were so in love. Ask anybody about our relationship.
Trust me, I did. If you know, my main thing is, this guy, he works every day, right? He worked every day. He provide. He took your daughter in.
Yeah.
As his own. Gave her his last name.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all these other people. I'm looking at American Airlines, people that possibly terminated, Mike Lennox, Jeff Jensen. I'm looking at all these people, Dan Turco, all these people.
Because I can't think of anybody else.
I'm thinking of all these people. What do anybody have against Jamie? Why do anybody want to kill him? My biggest thing is, if you were so in love with Darren, just dump the guy.
I wasn't.
Just tell him, hey, it's over.
I was in love with my husband.
It's important to understand just how many sleepless hours this detective has put into getting justice for not only Jamie, but Jennifer and their daughter Amber. Realizing that the answer was sitting directly in front of him and that he was being fed lies by the very person he was trying to help has to be devastating. In addition, countless other cases could have gotten his attention, leaving families who were actually in need of justice out in the cold.
Give me 1 second, Jennifer. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I can't make this up, Jennifer. I can't make it up. I can't. I won't make it up. I won't make it up.
Do I need a lawyer at this point?
It's your call, whatever you decide.
I'm leaving.
Hold on 1 second.
No, I'm leaving.
Give me 1 second. I'll walk you down. Hold on.
So are you saying he drove from Tennessee and killed Jamie and went back? Because I talked to him the day that Jamie was killed.
I know. Give me 1 second.
Why would he do that?
He did it because you told him to.
1 second.
And if you're so convinced, why even bother listening to me about all these other people who I thought might have something to do with it? Do you know how much I've been racking my brain if you knew this all along?
Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you.
Yes.
Thanks for stopping by. I think she does.
Where is that?
They talk too much, Miss Jalen.
Where is this?
It's about being selfish, and it's also money, right? Because if that's your husband for 15 years, I'm sure you have a life insurance policy on each other.
Yeah,
She
but
gets
then
the
there's
money. She
no.
gets the
let
money.
me,
She
let me
gets
do
to
this,
run away
okay?
into the
Because I know you
sunset
mentioned
with do.
something earlier, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Can you tell me
Hold
where
on.
those photos were taken?
Hold on 1 second, because you said, do I need a lawyer? And I said, hey, it's your source, but you said you're going. I want to make sure I read your rights so you understand your rights, okay? All right. You have the right to remain silent, not make any statement at all. And any statement you make may be used as evidence against you at your trial. Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. If you are unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. And you have the right to terminate this interview at any time. Do you understand the rights I read to you?
Yes,
Are you willing to continue to talk to me?
to a point.
You said, well, it's either yes or no.
Exactly.
Yes.
Black Beauty.
All right, let me get your signature right there. So, Jennifer, you got to understand, Jennifer. I told you in the beginning that we were going to get down to the bottom of it, and which we did. All right.
So the thing about it, Miss Jalen, she came in willingly. She came in willingly to talk with the investigators in the course of 3 days. They was in front of news reporters, speaking amongst her husband's family members, his parents and stuff like that, trying to find out what happened to him. So she's been coming willingly to the detectives, acting like if there's any other clues, any other things that she remembered, because remember she caught temporary amnesia for being by having PTSD, by going through a traumatic experience. So she'll come back and she'll give whatever extra things that she remembered to try to help with this case. The reason why he's reading her Miranda rights now is because as soon as she says that she wanted a lawyer, she's now no longer freely speaking on her own will anymore. But they have enough evidence to take her in as an actual suspect for this crime. So now he has to make sure he do his due diligence and read her Miranda rights, because if not, and let's say he detains her and arrests her for the murder of her husband, as soon as she gets that lawyer and she goes to trial, they can have a retrial if the Miranda rights were not read to her, or she wasn't given a lawyer if she couldn't afford one. Those things can actually give you a retrial or a mistrial, which will prolong justice being served. She can get out, right? She can bond out, right? And they even said in the beginning that she got $60,000 from a GoFundMe from everybody in her community once her husband passed. So she already racked in money off of this situation.
Help me understand this. Give me
Help me understand.
Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll be back.
No.
Your head hurt now, don't it? You ain't crying now. Where all that crying go? Where all that went?
I'm Special Agent Williams with ATF.
Okay.
So just so you know, this investigation has a federal element, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to go over a form with you briefly, okay?
Okay.
I'll take that.
So like I said, obviously there was a firearm used in this crime. So
Right.
ATF is a gun police. But with that comes the fact that I'm a federal agent, okay? So if you lie or mislead me, right, that means you send us down a course that makes us go chase gooses or something like that. That's a federal offense,
Right.
okay? I'm going to go over a form with you so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. And just like you signed your Miranda, we're going to have you sign, okay? So I have a copy, and you have a copy, okay?
Okay.
So you read along with me. I'm just going to read it out loud, okay?
The ATF agent reads the form aloud. Due to the gun used in the crime traveling across state lines, they became involved in the investigation as soon as Darren's name was brought to the attention of investigators. The detectives have done a phenomenal job of increasing the tension in the room by leaving periodically and strategically showing Jennifer incriminating photos. The photos, however, aren't at all what you're imagining.
So let's talk about a little bit of your communication with Darren. Okay? Like he said, he's been arrested today. Okay? So tell me about your communication. I know you say you text him and you call him. Is that it?
That's it.
Have you ever written any letters, sent any emails or anything like that to him?
An occasional email.
That's it. And what do those emails talk about?
I don't even remember. I mean, I think when we first started communicating, we had emails going back and forth, just catching up.
So no faxes, no letters,
No,
nothing.
no.
And in those emails, are you just catching up, or are you talking about you guys' situation, relationship?
At the beginning, probably both.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
Now, obviously, things like this, clearly, we just discussed that you believe that Darren killed your husband, okay? So, have you ever sent Darren anything else? Like any gifts, any money?
Yeah, I mean, yes, so we exchanged Christmas presents, all of us did. Amber, his kids, me, Darren, the girls, everything.
What did you give to Darren?
I bought him a smart TV because he always watches everything on his tablet. We watch TV shows together, all of us do. Amber and his dog, like, not together, but like at the same time, and we're texting during the shows.
So again, when we're talking about the nature of you guys' relationship, and you're downplaying it, right? I don't just give my random friend a TV, okay? That's a pretty big.
Okay, but you need to talk to my other friends.
The email communication between Jennifer and Darren wasn't just the usual affair, flirting and pining. Jennifer routinely sent Darren photos of herself with injuries and photos of injuries that she found on Google, claiming that Jamie inflicted them on her. There is no evidence that Jamie ever laid a hand on Jennifer. In addition, Jennifer set up multiple email accounts posing as her husband. She then sent threatening emails from her husband to Darren. In the emails, she not only posed as her husband and promised to harm Darren, but she rubbed the supposed violence she was enduring in Darren's face. And Darren wholeheartedly believed that she was in danger.
You gotta understand where we're coming from.
That is one evil son of a gun right there. You took random pictures off of online of women or women who have been abused and their markings and stuff and said that that was you. So again, like, I don't know. Yeah, she's an idiot, Miss Jalen. But the crazy thing about it is that those pictures that you get offline, whether it's one of those stock photos or something like that, they have a serial number on it. They can trace it. They're going to take your video. They're going to take your photos that you give or the photos that you have, and they're going to search. Again, like, that's them doing their due diligence, right? Searching to see, is these authentic photos? That's how they found out. They went through your phone. They seen what, or they went through the email. They seen what you sent Darren, and they want to make sure that if this was true or when those photos occur, when actual attack or a domestic violence situation occurred, and they couldn't find it, but they did find those same exact photos probably on a website somewhere. So that's how you got caught then. Then on top of that, you pretended that you was your husband and was sending threatening messages about leave my wife alone or blah, blah, blah. You was getting in this guy's head. You made this guy believe that you were in danger and that you was in a hostile domestic situation with your husband. And if you did not get out, that you could potentially lose your life. And that is one of the reasons why he probably acted in the way that he did, especially if you're sending messages saying that your husband was threatening him. Like, you're speaking to a military dude. Are you crazy? We don't take threats. We don't take threats lightly. Okay? You threaten to harm me, you threaten to alarm or harm my family, there's gonna be prices to pay for that. Hey, Flora. Good to see you, sweetheart. Good to see you. This is crazy. I can't believe she did that. That's insane. So, like I said, going back to what Black Beauty said earlier, why do people do this? Why not just leave the person in a relationship? Because people are spiteful, people are petty, and with her, she probably wouldn't get anything if they got a divorce, right? Or not what she wanted. She would have got more money. She gets more money with the life insurance policy. That's sad, man.
Okay. You think about this. I know Darren killed your husband.
I just can't even wrap my brain around that.
I know. To where I can even put him on the street during the same times. Same. You gotta understand. There was so much groundwork, so many resources utilized in this investigation. Where I can tell you from the day he left, the day he came back came to Dallas, where he stopped there, to even going back to his residence in Tennessee.
It just doesn't make sense.
And Jennifer, this is another thing too. You knew what kind of vehicle Darren had because you even researched.
No, Miss Joanne, I don't think she had. Or if she did, she was only watching it to figure out how she can get out of it. Not what happens when you think you're smarter than the adversary.
When we were in the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that I'm having a hard time to believe is.
Yeah, she did 60,000 from a
everything on Darren's phone, the text messages, the calls. Oh, I told you over 24,000 times.
Right.
It wasn't consistent with your phone. So that led me to believe that you deleted a lot of the text messages that were inside that phone.
So
the communication that you had.
But I've deleted a lot of people's text messages. I even deleted Jamie's text messages because my phone kept freezing.
Even if her phone had been freezing, she wouldn't explain the following text exchange with Darren soon after the murder, which read, "Don't text me Monday. I'm going to factory reset my phone on Sunday night after deleting texts." Okay, sounds good. Big hugs.
Jeff, I have text messages between you and Darren talking about the intimacy level, or how he's going to hold you, how y'all going to get physical. I have those things. These are recent.
But why would that constitute killing my husband?
Because, and that's what I'm here to say. Like I told you before, why not just tell him, hey, I don't want to be with you no more, Jamie?
I've been married twice before. Divorce is not out of the realm of my possibilities.
So, but why kill Jamie?
Why kill him? Exactly. I don't understand that.
Was it Darren's the one going through the struggle? Darren has a debt, and Darren's behind on his bill. Water not even on. I know a lot about Darren.
His water's not on?
I'm just telling you right now. There's a lot of things right now that Darren has going on with himself, but I know wasn't about the money. I know about the MetLife insurance policy. I know about the other insurance policy. My main thing is you even have a GoFundMe, all right? That over $70,000.
Didn't I tell y'all?
Okay?
Didn't I tell you it was a life insurance policy?
So my main thing is, why not just tell Jamie, hey, I don't want to be with you no more. But me, the way it's looking, because
the life insurance policy is a drop in the bucket compared to what Jamie made every year. That's like,
okay.
If you're thinking that's a motive, you're barking up the wrong tree.
But I'm just saying. So what is the motive?
There isn't one. Not on my end.
Why?
Yes, girl. The water was not on.
Why? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
When you just say, hey, easily dump him, because we know that Darren's in a financial bind right now. So that, I mean, this is your high school sweetheart. Jennifer, this is your high school sweetheart. This is the guy that you dated in high school. This is the guy you dated in college.
And I broke it off with him.
And this is the guy that you told Tina that you guys were planning on getting married. But guess what? He ended up leaving off.
I'm out.
You see what I'm saying? We were talking. Okay.
Interview's done.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. We'll walk you out. Give me 1 second, okay?
Where's my
mother? She's at her home.
The simple fact that she actually believed that she still has the ability to walk out is kind of crazy. They literally slapped right on the table every text message, every photo, the photos that you were sending to Darren. They They figured out that you was pretending to be your husband, sending threatening message, because if they already have Darren arrested and in custody, he already spilled the beans as into why he did it. He already spilled the beans. She just doesn't realize that they already had interrogated Darren and know that he thought that she was in danger, that he had to do it, and that the husband was sending threatening messages to him. That's why he's trying to make sure that she comes clean. She's getting aggravated. She can't take the heat, so now she wants to dip. But you said that you wasn't going to speak anymore because you wanted a lawyer. You should have shut the hell up and got that lawyer.
There are motives galore in this case, as you've just heard, and each was proven in court. Jennifer attempted to collect a $629,000 life insurance policy that Jamie had. However, she could not because she couldn't be ruled out as a suspect. In addition, she used the $60,000 that was given to her to help her recover from her husband's death to pay off credit cards that she gave to Darren to buy anything his heart desired. In February of 2021, Jennifer was charged with obstruction of justice. Soon after, a charge of use of interstate commerce to commission a murder for hire was added, putting Jennifer at risk of the death penalty. Ultimately, she took a plea deal to receive life in prison instead. Darren, who maintained his innocence, stating that he truly thought that Jennifer was at risk of being killed by Jamie, pleaded not guilty to his federal charge of murder for hire and was sentenced to 62 years in prison. He is currently fighting his charges and pleading with the Texas governor for leniency. You would think that this would be the end of Jennifer and Darren. In her plea deal, Jennifer confessed to orchestrating fake emails and photos alleging violence by her husband and also admitted that it was Darren who killed her husband. However, while they both sat in jail, Jennifer had a third party deliver a note to Darren. Part of the letter read that she wanted Darren to know, "I am with him, will always be with him, regardless of whatever has happened. I've needed to be cautious because every communication is being monitored. Please tell him ASAP, I will always be his." Later, she wrote him a letter stating that she wasn't the one behind the fake emails from her husband, instead claiming that they were real. Unfortunately for Jennifer, it appears her high school romance has finally ended.
I have eyes on looks like a black.
Woo! Woo! That was a crazy case, guys. That was a real crazy case. She did all that. She was basically tricking on this dude, and she had to find a way for her husband not to find out that she was tricking on this guy with spending their money and spending his money on the credit cards. So she wanted to be with this guy. She set everything up to make this guy believe that she was in danger and that, this was the only way that they can be together. It's just sad. It's just really, really sad, man. Like, she did a lot. I'm glad that she got life in prison. She should have got the death penalty, but she's smart. She too full of herself to have the death penalty. So she wanted life in prison, but even within all that, she's still trying to be with this dude. Ma'am, you got life in prison and he got 60 years. Unless they start making prisoners from different prisons, the male prison and the female prison, unless they start making them come together to have relationships or rendezvous, whatever. Not, I don't see this happening. But it's sad. It's really sad nonetheless that she did that to her husband, a good man. He didn't ask for none of that, and you really plotting on him for $600,000. You spending his money on another dude. That's some wicked stuff right there. Wicked stuff. All right, so the next one that I have for you guys is when a home invader, they end up becoming a suspect of a murder, and we're going to see what he gets his what happened, and do he get justice, or is justice served? All right, here we go.
On March 2nd, 2018, at about 4:45 a.m., the Travis County Sheriff's Office, located in Texas, received a 911 call.
Travis County 911. Hello, There was shooting. My husband got out of bed. My dogs were barking. There were shots fired.
Shots were fired for him?
No, I don't know. Help me.
The voice you are listening to is that of 52-year-old Corey Shaunessy. Moments earlier, she and her husband, 55-year-old Ted Shaunessy, were awoken by their dog Bart barking. Ted got up to see what the commotion was, and as Corey laid her head back down to sleep, multiple gunshots went off inside the house. Bart came running to the bedroom. Corey immediately grabbed her .357 revolver from the wall mount above her bed, and as she went to exit the room, a bright white light shined through the Japanese curtains in the doorway. A shot was then fired through the curtains, instantly killing Bart at the foot of the bed. Corey and the intruder then exchanged a barrage of bullets until Corey's gun ran out of ammo. She quickly grabbed her cell phone, ran into the closet, and dialed 911. As she explained what had just taken place, she heard moaning coming from outside the room.
You hear somebody moaning?
Yes.
Okay. Does it sound like your husband?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think you possibly shot your husband?
I don't know.
Corey. Corey, take a deep breath. You're doing a great job, okay? The police are on their way.
I think my husband.
Is it just you and your husband in the house?
I don't know. I gotta go out there.
No. Stay where you are, Corey. I want you to stay where you are.
Police were dispatched to the couple's residence on Oliver Drive, and 15 minutes later, they arrived.
All right, ma'am, I do have you in a sound scene, and they are going to be approaching your house, okay?
At this point, it was safe to say that the intruders had fled the scene, so dispatch instructed Corey to cautiously exit the house.
Let me know when you're opening the door. Let me know everything that you're doing, okay?
I'm walking out of my closet.
As Corey headed toward the front door, she passed by the kitchen where Ted was on the floor, brutally gunned down.
Oh, God.
Go to the door, ma'am. Go to the door, Corey. Go to the door, Corey. What do you see?
No.
Corey, what do you see?
There's nobody else.
Corey opened the door and discovered that no police had arrived at the scene. It turned out that the police had accidentally gone to the house next door.
I did. There's nobody near my husband.
The police quickly corrected this mistake and met Corey at her front door. She was visibly shaken, so one of the officers escorted her to a squad car away from the crime scene. Now safe and with someone to talk to, she grieved the loss of her husband of 30 years.
He's fine. It's my entire life. No.
Corey then asked if she could call her best friend Karen.
Hello? You're Karen?
Yeah.
You're Corey?
What's the matter?
Ted's dead.
No.
Yes.
No, where are you?
As difficult as it was telling Karen the tragic news, Corey's next task would prove to be even more painful, informing her adopted son of 19 years, Nick Shaunessy, that his father was dead.
I need to call my son.
Okay.
Nick. Mom, Dad's dead. Nick.
What?
Dad is dead.
What?
Nicholas, just I need you. Can you just?
What?
Shooting. I don't know.
What?
Corey was eventually able to calm down enough to roughly explain what had happened.
Did you return fire?
Yes. I'm in the back of the car out front, and the police are here, and they want me to call someone. I know you're in College Station, and I don't know what to do about it.
Nick and his girlfriend of a year and a half, Jackie Edison, made their way from College Station to Austin, calling family and friends along the way to inform everyone of their situation. Several of these people showed up to be there for Corey, and once Karen showed up, she stuck by Corey's side. When Nick and Jackie arrived, they were immediately questioned by lead detective James Moore. It was important to rule out the people in Ted's inner circle as potential suspects, including Corey. So Detective Moore asked Nick about the dynamics of his parents' relationship.
So, tell me about between mom and dad. What's the relationship like?
Solid as ever. They just had their 30th anniversary in January.
Okay. They argue, fight?
No, they bicker like every couple does.
They ever
but
hit each other?
no,
They ever threaten each other?
no, nothing.
Nick was very proactive about helping the police with their investigation. He ran around asking questions, trying to get to the bottom of what exactly happened. He also gave the detectives access to the home security system through an app on his phone.
They're not technologically literate, so I'm like the only that manage all their technology.
This, along with a thorough search of the property, gave the investigators a better understanding of how the home invasion may have taken place. The home security system app showed that someone had entered the house at 4:27 a.m. This wide-open window leading into Nick's old bedroom was most likely the point of entry. Right beside the window was a dresser, and in the bottom drawer was an empty box for a .40 caliber Springfield handgun. 17 minutes passed, then suddenly, at 4:44 a.m., the security system showed that a window had been broken. This alert was triggered by these bullet holes in the kitchen window. This was also just moments before Corey called 911. It was deduced that 4:44 a.m. was when Ted was gunned down. Bullet casings from .40 and .380 caliber guns were scattered on the kitchen floor, indicating that there was likely two shooters. While Detective Paul Sallow supervised the collection of evidence, Detective Moore spoke with the neighbors. One of them, a woman named Kim, told Detective Moore about the Shaunessy family business, Gallery Jewelers. Ted was the personable face of the business, while Corey appraised the jewelry.
And it's not cheap jewelry, just so you know. Like, I'm talking, like when they transfer jewelry, like I'm talking hundreds to millions of dollars of jewelry.
All right, so at least they had weapons in the house, right? I'm so sorry that this man lost his life and he got gunned down in his house like that. But what is quite disturbing for me is that the point of entry of a invader that came into the house, they specifically came in through this particular window that just so happened is near a cabinet that had a gun down in the last drawer. Like, that sticks out to me because it's like, how did he know to go through that window, right, as a point of access? And then on top of that, how did he know that there was a weapon in that cabinet? Because there's no other signs in the picture that they just show that they were scavenging around looking for something, right? But the case for that particular gun in that cabinet was open. That reads to me that someone knew about the house, someone knew about the security, someone knew the best point of entry too. That's what it shows to me. But let's go on.
Detective Moore wondered if the perpetrator knew about this expensive jewelry. Perhaps this was a robbery gone wrong.
Are we keeping this stuff in the house?
I don't know the answer to that.
While Kim wasn't sure whether or not this was a botched burglary, she did know that the Shaunessys had been a target of theft on more than one occasion.
I think it was about last year. Someone broke into their car.
Last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This supported the robbery gone wrong theory, but something was troubling the detectives. Why would someone rob a house with 3 cars parked in the driveway? Wouldn't it be better to rob a house with nobody home? Especially in Texas, where many homeowners own an arsenal of guns. They had a feeling that the motive behind this home invasion was something more sinister. Detective Moore wrapped up the neighborhood interviews and headed back to the crime scene. Nick and Corey were photographed and their hands were swabbed for gunshot residue. They were then asked to come to the station for a proper interview. After collecting her clothes for evidence, they had Corey recount the home invasion from her point of view. She was clearly traumatized.
I didn't hear anything until the dog started barking. I was gonna die. I really did. Will you be able to tell if I shot somebody?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we may be able to learn.
They asked Corey if she knew anybody who would want to hurt Ted. This caught her off guard because she assumed it was a robbery gone wrong, but the detectives explained why they were now doubting that theory.
You see what I'm getting at is somebody doing this at night. It's a very risky thing, especially in Texas, because a lot of people in Texas own guns. I mean, it does happen, but I mean that's a big risk for somebody trying to pull off.
I can't imagine anybody knowing us doing that.
Following this brief questioning, they held a formal interview with Nick.
I'm trying to think of anything that could be helpful.
Nick told the detectives that Kim, the neighbor that they had talked to earlier, was going through a divorce and employed Nick as a private investigator. She wanted to confirm that her husband was cheating on her.
Her
husband was cheating on her, and I looked into that for her.
So what did you find out?
He was staying at a female's residence for a long period of time and saying he was elsewhere. When I had access to his car, I put a little a tracker in it for her that she could see via the app, so she knew where he was when he was, and so much he said, like, oh, I'm at the golf course, well, you're at her house, that sort of thing. Now, I do not know if he ever found that out, that I was responsible for that.
This information.
I mean, this is very good information that he's telling, right? But my problem is that you live a good distance away from your parents, right? And this particular neighbor, I guess they live not too far from your mom and dad's place. They went out to you to be a PI. I don't understand, why would they go after their son to be a PI unless he used to be prior law enforcement, prior ATF, LEO, or something like that, and he has decided that he wanted to, take the private route and be a private investigator. But they specifically go after you to be a private investigator about her husband cheating. And it's like to me, he's trying to tell the detectives, like, hey, you might want to look into this person because he might want to get some get back if I was able to provide any information to his wife that he was cheating on her. But again, why would the target be your parents? There's 3 cars, like the detective says. There's 3 cars in the garage. So that means that someone's home. This happened in the middle of the night when they're in their bed. This is Texas. This ain't New York, right? And even in New York, it doesn't matter. We hit people broad daylight and night, during the day, whatever, you name it. But this is Texas. They have looser gun laws than how we have in New York. Pretty much everybody and their mama can have a gun. You could be 16 years old in a gun in Texas. You just have to just go to a gun show and you can get a freaking gun. So why chance that? Also, it was very concerning too that they said that 2 people was actually shooting, right? So of course we know that the wife was shooting. She admitted that she was shooting. But the amount of casings that they saw, it showed that there was more than 1 or 2 guns. There were actually 3 guns that was being used at the time. So these are the things that's actually sticking out with me. And I find it just very odd that he's talking about this investigation, this PI situation that he was doing for a neighbor. And it could potentially be a revenge plot because you ratted on him to the wife to let him know that he was cheating on her. I just find that quite odd that that's being added into this situation. But let's go on.
Opened up several possibilities. Maybe Kim's husband found out and had Ted killed as revenge against Nick. Or maybe Kim was actually the intended target, but the hitman mixed up the houses, just like the cops did earlier. After all, one of the vehicles in the Shaunessy driveway was a white Mercedes, which Kim also happened to own. The detectives decided to head back to Kim's house and speak with her again.
Hey, say what? Okay. Yeah, we've talked on the phone. Hi.
She told the detectives that she was somewhat close with Nick, since she frequently had him house sit, dog sit, and even babysit for her when she was away from the house.
How about any, investigative kind of things?
Okay, yes, that's not really investigative, but I did have him follow my, forgot about that.
Okay.
My soon-to-be ex-husband, because, well, it's interesting. Probably more information than we want to hear.
While the housekeeper cleaned in the background, Kim told the detectives that she suspected her husband of cheating.
So, yeah, I asked him when he leaves, I want you to follow him because I want to know where he's going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he did.
Okay.
So I got my information.
Okay. Was Nick compensated for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All I needed was just an address.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's all I want. I don't want you to do anything else. I don't want you to go to that person's door. I don't want a problem. I just want an address.
So there was more than one occasion when you had to follow him?
Maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay. And did your husband
Did he know this? Like, did he end up and find out that Nick had done this
No.
or anything? Okay.
No, I never said a word. Yeah, he's a liar for sure, but there's no doubt about it. I don't think he's capable of that.
Kim turned out to be right about this, as detectives followed this lead and ultimately confirmed that her soon-to-be ex-husband was in fact not involved. But this wasn't the only promising lead that the detectives gained from their interview with Nick. They had asked Nick about the open window in his bedroom. Apparently, Nick and his best friend Spencer would use that window as their personal entrance and exit to get in and out of the house, so he would sometimes leave it unlocked. The detectives asked Nick to tell them more about Spencer.
He's not as fortunate a guy to have parents that will help him. Like,
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I say? I said that from the beginning, that it was weird that the point of entry they picked to invade in was that particular window. And the fact that whoever came through that window knew that there was a weapon down in that cabinet. And for now that the son is telling them that him and his friend used to go through that window all the time, and they know how they can keep it open where he can actually access in, that it's getting quite serious right now. Let's go on.
minor. So he works at his Home Depot job, hating every second of it. When he's not there, he's studying for his job or his school at Texas State.
Nick also told them that he had lent Spencer one of his
drug
guns,
addict,
a
boy.
380 caliber pistol, the same caliber as one of the guns that shot Ted. The
think
dots were
critters
beginning
know a
to
lot of
connect.
things.
Spencer, someone forced to work a crappy job to pay the bills, someone familiar with where the Shaunessy safe was, seemed to be the only one besides Nick who knew about the unlocked window. And he may even have one of the murder weapons. Naturally, the detectives reached out to their new suspect.
Hey, is this Spencer?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Detective Moore. I'm with Travis County Sheriff's Department. How you doing?
Getting better.
Detective Moore asked Spencer when he was last at the Shaunessy house.
It wasn't more than like a month ago.
Okay. Can you tell me like how that night went? You know,
I mean, that night was fun. We had talks. I told them about my work. Everyone was just in a great mood. I mean, we just had dinner. We had some drinks. We were having fun. We were just getting along just like a normal family, really.
you guys never left the house at night?
Not that night, no, but on previous nights, we usually would go out to the barn.
The barn was located on the Shaunessy property, and Spencer and Nick would often enjoy some late-night drinks there.
So when y'all would go to the barn, can you tell me about that? How would y'all leave the house and get back in and all that?
Usually we'd go out through one of Nicholas's bedroom windows.
Okay. Do you remember the last time y'all did that?
No, not really, no. It was recent, but not like in the last month, no.
This conversation ended there, but they weren't done with Spencer just yet. They were able to obtain some search warrants for his house, phone, and car. And in the car console was the 380.
You've had it with you?
Yeah.
This whole time?
Yeah.
The detectives were certain that they had their shooter. However, they did a forensic test on the 380, and it was confirmed that this weapon was not used to kill Ted. Ultimately, there was no evidence indicating Spencer's involvement, so this lead fizzled out as well. Forensics also confirmed that none of the bullets that killed Ted were fired from Corey's gun. But she wasn't completely ruled out yet. It was still possible that she was involved in setting up the home invasion. After all, with Ted being gone, not only would she be the sole owner of their assets, including the jewelry business and the house, but she was also the beneficiary of Ted's life insurance payout, $1 million. The detectives kept her on their radar as a potential suspect as they continued their investigation. They went to the Shaunessy household where Corey, Nick, and Jackie were staying for the time being. They wanted to ask Corey about the missing .40 caliber handgun, especially since it was the same caliber as one of the murder weapons. Corey said that they always left it on a shelf at the jewelry store, so she and the detectives headed over to see if it was there. However, it was also missing from that spot. The question was, where is it now? After going back to the house, they asked Nick that same question. He told the detectives that his father let him borrow it, but he returned it soon after.
Yeah. I took it to College Station, and then Father wanted it back.
We have no idea where he may have put it or anything.
Father didn't tell me any intentions with it.
So the same weapon that was missing in that cabinet is the same weapon that they had at their stores, because the mom and dad are jewelers. And now, surprisingly, you gave it back to your father, but you don't know what he did with it. But that is literally the weapon that is missing. That's the weapon that's missing. I'm going to tell y'all my theory. I'm not sure because I didn't really review this video, but my theory is I'm thinking that it could have been the wife and the son. I think that they were both in on it, really. I truly do. I truly do believe that they were both in on it, especially that Nick, like it's just too much stuff that's leading towards him. You was a PI for someone that was in your father's community. You took on that, and that would be a good alibi, right? Oh, I'm a PI. I'm doing something for the neighbor to find out that her husband is cheating for her. That would keep you around to be scoping of what's going on at your parents' house without really being, known. Or if they find out or find video and see that you was around there around the time that happened, you have an alibi now saying that you was doing investigation work. And then for the simple fact that they're now saying that she didn't even shoot any shots, but she told them once on the operator that she shot shots. She was firing back and forth, but they're saying they don't even find the weapon that she had. They don't even find any casings for her. She didn't shoot. This is not turning out good, and not the way that I wanted to. I really, really did hope that it was just like a home invasion, but it does seem more sinister stuff was going on. A lot more planning went on. But let's go on.
With no significant progress in Ted's case thus far, the detectives wondered if they had somehow missed something. They reviewed all of the evidence over and over again, and at one point, while looking through the home security system data, they noticed something strange. Nick had opened up the app on his phone at 5:39 a.m., 5 minutes before Corey had informed him about Ted's death. They began to question the things that Nick had said and done that they had initially overlooked. From the moment Nick showed up at the crime scene, he was inserting himself into the investigation. For example, on top of giving the police access to his parents' home security system, he offered access to his home security system as well.
Something that might be able to help you out if you want to rule her and I, my home security system, I alarm it every night. I have cameras that show my entry and exit that I can view via my phone, if that helps. I armed 12:30 or so after we were watching TV and went to bed.
But the information Nick volunteered wasn't the only suspicious thing. His behavior was odd too. One example is when Nick was being photographed at the crime scene. The whole time he was laughing and making small jokes. At one point he was asked to face the camera, and he did a little hop to turn around. Why would somebody whose father just died be so chipper? Another red flag was in the interrogation room, when Nick told the detectives about recent money problems between him and his mom.
There was a period where my mother and I, there was a financial dispute, and it was like really pretty heated.
Corey had loaned Nick $30,000 to support his dream of becoming a day trader. Nick became successful fast, but was not paying Corey back as they agreed. Instead, he was buying himself and Jackie expensive jewelry and fancy clothes. Since Nick wasn't holding up his end of the bargain, Corey stopped paying for his expenses. This led to an argument and major tension between them, but just days before Ted's death, Nick reimbursed his mom and reconciled with her.
We figured it out, talked, sat down, did everything out, figured it out.
Although everything seemed figured out, the detectives were curious to see how Nick was doing financially after paying Corey back. They looked into Nick's bank records and discovered that he had hardly anything remaining in his accounts. At this point, the detectives decided to take up Nick's offer. They gained access to his home security system in the College Station apartment. This, along with the surveillance cameras inside the house, confirmed Nick's alibis that he and Jackie were at home at the time of the shooting. They also obtained a search warrant for the apartment itself. During the search, they found a safe that contained expensive watches and other jewelry, along with several other weapons and boxes of ammunition. One of those boxes contained SIG 380 ammo, the same brand and caliber as the bullets at the crime scene. 6 rounds were missing. Next, the detectives obtained Nick and Jackie's cell phones. Both phones had very little data on them, as if they were wiped before they were given to the police. Fortunately, if you own more than one Apple device, the devices are commonly synced to each other. Nick's iPhone was synced to his Mac Mini. On the Mac Mini, detectives found conversations between Nick and Jackie leading up to the murder. On February 28th, just days before Ted's death, the couple discussed paying someone $1,000, and if it happens, cash in hand. Jackie's bank records showed that she took out $1,000 that same day. With this abundance of evidence, the detectives couldn't shake the feeling that Nick's best friend Spencer knew more about Nick's involvement than he was letting on. They met with him again at the station. It seemed that Spencer realized the direction that this investigation was heading. As a result, he was much more forthcoming with the detectives this time around. He told the
best friend about to squeal. Best friend about to squeal. He ain't trying to do that time. He about to squeal.
detectives about driving around with Nick and Jackie as they discussed the idea of killing Nick's parents.
He said, after my parents go, I would have $8 million. Has he ever directly asked you to kill his parents? Yes.
Apparently, Nick had offered Spencer money in exchange for killing his parents, and Spencer declined. Following this interview, authorities felt that they had enough evidence to arrest both Nick and Jackie, and on May 29, 2018, that's exactly what happened. Nick was charged with capital murder, and his bond was set at $3 million. Jackie was charged with conspiracy to commit capital murder, and her bond was set at $1 million. Detectives brought Jackie into the interrogation room where she shared her side of the story.
Do you prefer Jackie or Jacqueline? Or Jackie?
Shortly after we got married, he asked me if I would stay with him if he ever murdered someone.
This odd remark became more serious during a conversation about his father's extremely poor mental health.
I didn't see that, but Nick said he did. And he mentioned killing him to end that. And I said, that's crazy, that's stupid, what's you saying?
Nick later followed up by saying it would be too painful for his mom to live through such a loss, so she needed to be killed as well. Jackie says she couldn't believe what she was hearing.
But this isn't you. You love your parents. Like, we visit them every weekend. We have.
So this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So you have a entitled son who was mad that mommy and daddy gave you startup money to get your life in order, and you thought that they were supposed to continue to fund your life with your wife because they are jewelers and they make a good amount of money, which you know that. But what you wanted the family business, and you would have been the next of kin if you got rid of both of your parents. And you figure that would have had allowed you to keep the lifestyle that you have afforded you and your wife. And now she's talking, oh, this would have been crazy and all the stuff like that, because she's going to make herself seem like she had to go along with it because since he's talking crazy, she was in danger. So she couldn't upset him at this point. You know, that's what she's going to do. Anything to make herself seem like she had no say so. She was pretty much coerced and she feared for her life. Because right now is the time where it's survival mode, right? She's in survival mode right now. So anything that can less her time, she's gonna give him all this information and stuff like that. So you mean to tell me that you had conversations with your husband talking about unaliving his parents and how much money y'all gonna get, and you mean to tell me that you wouldn't tell anyone? You didn't go to the police if you thought it was crazy? Maybe he needed some help, maybe some mental help or something like that. You just go along with it? It's not gonna work, but that's the route that she's going. Let's go on.
Fun, we're family. I've always wanted what I had with them. I didn't think Nick really had it in him to even think about it, and that's why I never took it as seriously as I should have.
So other than his dad, him thinking that his dad was miserable, what other reasons would he have to do?
He knew that they had a $1 million life insurance policy each, but he told me it wasn't about the money.
Did Nicholas hire somebody to kill his parents?
Yeah.
Jackie told them that she didn't know who the hired guns were, nor did she know the details of the murder itself. Her only involvement was working out the payment and helping Nick scope out the area leading up to the murder.
I was like, well, I mean, we can't even afford to put half. And I said, well, okay, maybe they'll do it for 10. I wanted to shut him up. I was playing his game. I never took it seriously. No, I went with him you know, he wanted me to go with him, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I know he's not going to do it. And if he is going to do something crazy, then I'll be there to make sure he doesn't do it. I tried to stop him.
Jackie claimed that she was deeply troubled living with Corey while she grieved Ted's death.
Living with Corey, and every single day how she would cry about Ted and how she hated his murderers and how she would blame y'all when really I knew that it was her son, and that killed me. I really loved him like a father.
2 weeks following this interview, Jackie's bond was reduced from $1 million to $250,000. This bond was quickly paid and she was released from custody. It would ultimately be up to the court to determine Nick and Jackie's fate, but the detectives weren't done their job. The shooters were still at large. The detectives scoured through Nick's surveillance footage to see if he had met with anyone leading up to the murder, and bingo. On February 28th, the same day that Jackie withdrew the $1,000, 2 people showed up at Nick's apartment. Soon after, one of the visitors steps out to take a phone call and is seen wearing a Renewal by Anderson company t-shirt. The detectives drove to the Renewal by Anderson headquarters, and by a stroke of luck, an employee's daughter recognized the man in the video. His name is Cameron Vosmek, and he had worked for Renewal by Anderson for merely 4 days several years ago. Authorities tracked Cameron down, and he willingly spoke with investigators. He told them that the other person in the video was a man named Johnny Leon. Apparently, Johnny had approached Cameron months earlier about a job moving some stuff. But when they showed up to Nick's house, he started talking about people in Austin costing him $30,000 a month, and that they needed to be taken care of. When Cameron tried to clarify what he meant by that, Nick was insistent that the less you know, the better. Uncomfortable with how this interaction was playing out, Cameron left the apartment and never looked back. Following Cameron's interview, the police tracked down and arrested Johnny. Initially, he admitted to being approached by Nick about the murder-for-hire plot, but denied having any involvement.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If someone offers you $100K, you're gonna think about it. He's luring you into this to commit murder. I'm just telling you, we know you're involved in this. We know what happened. We know I'm involved. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
The detectives then confronted him with the surveillance footage, at which point he began to open up. He explained that he didn't have the heart to kill Ted himself, and that Nick decided that he would take matters into his own hands. Just days before the murder, Johnny and Nick drove from College Station to the Shaunessy house. They parked across the street, and Nick ran up to the house alone. Moments later, Nick came back to the vehicle and said that he couldn't get inside the house. So they drove back to College Station. According to Johnny, his involvement ended there. However, his phone location data placed him in the area at the time of the shooting, and for that reason, he was still charged with capital murder. Johnny's phone also revealed that he had an accomplice, someone named Ariane Smith. Ariane was arrested and brought in for questioning. Under the pressure of being caught, he shared details of the home invasion from his perspective.
Then I hear some shots come from the bedroom as well. And I heard a woman cry. And I said, please don't do it, please, let's just go, please, leave her alone, let's go, please, just let's go. So after I say that, he takes off running and I follow him.
Now, reliving the events that took place that night, Ariane expresses just how much it had been weighing on him.
You're the only person that's shown me regret. I don't understand how could you kill somebody and not have any emotion about it? And you actually killed him. I was just in the situation. I'm devastated. I cannot sleep at night. What is that?
Following his confession, Ariane led investigators to the murder weapon, Ted's .40 caliber handgun. Ariane was then charged with capital murder. One by one, the accused killers took plea deals, and each received a sentence of 35 years in prison with the possibility of parole, except for Jackie. Jackie, who was still out on bond, was living her life and even dating new men. After running from this incident for 5 years, she eventually gave in to the pressure. In June of 2023, Jackie took a plea deal known as a deferred adjudication. This meant that she pled guilty to a lesser charge and avoided a formal conviction. The terms of Jackie's sentence were 4 months in county jail, followed by 10 years of probation, during which, every year, on the anniversary of Ted's murder, she must spend 2 days in jail. This is what Corey had to say during her victim impact statement.
I'm alive because your plan to have me murdered didn't succeed. You knew what was about to happen, and yet you sat home and did nothing because you wanted it to happen. We opened our home and our hearts to you, and you and Nicholas took everything from us. How long will it take for you to find another family to destroy? How long will it be before Bonnie finds her next Clyde? You are a monster. You are evil. and everyone needs to know it.
Corey Shaunessy now lives in a different state under a different name.
That was a wicked case, a very wicked case. So, like I said, I had a feeling that it was the son. The way how he was acting, the whole simple fact of what was the point of entry, the simple fact that he was the one who was in charge of their security system. A lot of things that was leading up to it, it just made me believe that the son was involved, right? And he enlisted other people. You can see that they somewhat are remorseful. But the real one is that kind of like caught me off guard was the wife of the son, right? Because she came in there saying, "Oh, I loved them and I really looked at him as a father," and all the stuff like that, and she was able to get her bail dropped down to 250,000. And she went out there living her best life, acting like she wasn't just married to a murderer. And then when it came down to really actually being charged, she was just like, let me just go in there and go for a plea deal, and so I can just really go back to living my life. And it's crazy how they did all that because they really wanted to just swindle and take the money that they did not earn. They wanted to take the money of these of his parents. Like, why do you think that they are supposed to fund your life in your lifestyle of luxury? If she gave him money to start a business and he was supposed to be doing well, he was supposed to build upon that, not take their money or get rid of them so you could take their money and live this type of lifestyle. And the mom who read her statement, she's absolutely correct about that lady as well, you know, as well as her son. It's like, you was okay and willing to see us gone. You wanted us gone. You was down with the plan from the beginning. And this whole, oh, it was me hearing about the death and hearing how sad and lonely Corey is that her husband is gone, and I really looked at him as a father. Like, no, all that is just like playing in people's faces. Yeah, she did get off too easy, Kaya. She got off real easy. I'm surprised they even allowed her to go off like that. Like, seriously, she should have gotten a lot of time, because she had many chances. She could have called the police. She could have notified the parents, to let them know what's up. So that at least if anything, if her son is having a mental problems, he can get the problems that he can get that fixed and get the weapons taken away from him. But you was down with the whole plot. You was down with the whole game, man. That's terrible. That's really terrible. All right, so I have one more things left for you guys. So I wanted to lighten it up a little bit. Yeah, let's see. Shonda says, and didn't they say he was an adopted son? Yes, exactly. That's such a tragedy. Yes, Nick he actually killed his father. So Nick was the actual biological son to the father that he killed. He was trying to kill both parents, so that was her stepson. So yes, this whole thing is very tragic, very, very tragic indeed. But I have one more case for you guys, and I'm going to let you good folks go. This one is a body cam situation. I wanted to lighten it up a little bit because I do understand that the cases that we're talking about has to do with people losing their lives, and I don't want to feel so morbid, right? Like just going over when situations of people losing their lives all the time. I hope that I could find more cases where people didn't lose their lives, but the interrogation process is so important, which I want to share that with you guys when we dissect these things together. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's rocking out with me. Just please make sure you're hitting the like button. If you're just coming in to just tap in and you're going to tap out, it really does help the channel. It really does keep me in the algorithm. So I appreciate it. Nonetheless, just please hit that like button, okay? But so I want to make it a little bit more on a happier note. So I have a body cam footage of police making an arrest. So we're moving away from the morbid section of someone losing their lives. And I think this is a nice way to end the show, so it's not so sad and gloomy, because like prayers to all the people who lose their lives in these cases that I go over. It's not like this is something that's joyful to me. I wish that all these people were here, really, truly. And it's horrible, right? But let's go with this body cam situation. So there was this woman who ended up being nosy, and she ended up thinking that she could talk wherever she wanted to talk to police, and she effed around and find out. And we're gonna see it right now. Hey Tequila, thank you for showing up, dear. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. All right, here we go. This is like what not to do. Okay, what not to do.
Everyone out? Yeah, everyone's out. No injuries. Traffic 2-3, you can slow everyone else down. Okay. Jerry, will you set up cones behind Steve's car, please? Is there another car involved somewhere? I don't know. Up there, maybe? Are you involved, sir? Huh? Are you involved?
Yeah, I'm not driving. Yeah, the car is turned over.
I think I'm in front of my truck. I just went there. Oh, it's the one way up there with all the stickers? Yeah. Okay. Do you have your license on you? You want to tell me briefly what happened real quick? Yeah. The passenger, the turning lane here. And this gentleman just turned into the side of me. So you were coming straight through, and you were in which lane? I was. Where that fire truck is? Yeah, the fire truck. Yeah. Okay. And I was going to turn on that turning onto the next road, not this one, the next road. Ultimate. Okay, so I was doing that one. So he came from the right? He came from the right? Was he in the middle lane? And just like knocked me right over. Okay. And there was a witness who was just here, Barry, and he... What's your phone number, sir? I'm from Italy, I'm sorry. My English is not very good. Your English is pretty good. Thank you. Anyway, no, it happened all so fast. I mean, we were going to... But it happened over here. And so we were going to turn on the light, and he hit us behind. I don't know what happened. Are you okay? I'm okay. I'm okay. Is your friend okay? My friend is okay, and our car, I mean his car, is okay. It's just he was probably speeding. I don't know, because to do this, honestly. Ma'am, are you involved? Then get out of the road. Is she for real? Yeah. So V1's going to be the one that's way up there, apparently. I haven't talked to them. But apparently, he's coming down in this way. Okay.
Ma'am, you in the white sweatshirt, come here. Ma'am, you're being given a lawful order. Come here. Ma'am, come here.
Excuse me, I didn't see anything.
You're not allowed to walk in the roadway. Come over here. I need your ID. You're getting a ticket. Come over here.
No, I will not.
Come over here. Ma'am, stop.
No, I'm sorry. I'm horrific. Every day there's accidents.
You're not allowed to be in the roadway blocking traffic, and I'm asking for your ID. Okay? I need your ID. Okay?
Okay.
Don't hit me.
Take your hit.
Do not hit me.
You're holding my arm. I can't release myself when you have my arm held. Excuse me, sir.
Stop it, ma'am.
Are you out of your mind?
Hey, traffic is your priority. Owen, come over here. This lady wants to tussle with me. Come over here.
Tussle? You're holding me.
Okay.
Who's tussling?
You're not going anywhere. You understand?
Oh, yeah, I have a job to do.
No, ma'am. Let me see your ID right now.
So get your hands off me.
You are not going to smack my hand away. Do you understand?
I didn't smack your hand away. You grabbed my hands. Where's your camera? Where's your camera?
It's on. Turn around.
No. Sir, I'm getting my ID out.
Turn around, ma'am.
What is going on? Your picture.
I asked your ID to get a ticket and you want to smack my hand away. Put your
No,
hand
I
on your
did not
back.
do that.
Ma'am, don't resist him.
Don't resist.
Don't resist him.
Are you out of your mind? This
ma'am.
is ridiculous.
Ma'am, we asked you to get out of the roadway. You want to stay there.
I did.
I asked for your ID and you want to push my hand away.
No.
Now you're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Ma'am, when an officer has probable cause for
All right,
pedestrian
so
violation...
I'm going to have a temp of...
Can I call my person and let them know?
Don't resist him.
All right, you're
I'm not trying to resist.
All right, you're under arrest.
For what? For taking a picture?
So this is what you don't do, ladies and gentlemen, okay? At one point, once he ran over there, you walked away. Okay, you was being nosy. We know there's nosy people all the time. They like to snap pictures, world star, all that good stuff, right? But once he said, hey, listen, you can't be in the roadway, whatever not, and he was going to give you a ticket. I mean, I know you want to argue, hey, I don't want a ticket. Why? I was just videotaping, blah, blah, blah. He said he's going to give you a ticket. Okay, that's fine. But that's what you should have done. That's not what this lady did. She's wanted to give attitude. She was like, oh, you're not going to give me a ticket. And then he's like, okay, well, here you are. He's holding on to her and she's fighting with, she's kind of move off. And I get it. People don't like their, personal space. They don't like people touching them, especially random people. But it was just like, you had many chances where you would not be detained right now. You have many chances where you would have gotten a citation and you would have went on your merry way. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You wanted to argue. You wanted to argue with him back and forth, and now you're going to jail. It's really sad. This is what happens sometimes when you're being nosy. Let's go on.
Obstruction.
Obstruction?
Yep.
Excuse me, I gotta lock my car.
Look.
Wow.
We are trying to deal with this, ma'am. Okay?
Oh my God, that
you almost
scared me.
You almost got hit by multiple cars.
No, I did not.
Okay?
You're
I've been
lying.
very polite to you. You are not allowed to walk away from me when I give you an order. You understand?
No, I didn't know I walked away from you. I took a picture and walked away.
I looked right at you. I said, ma'am,
I
police
didn't
stop
hear
from here. You looked right at me.
I did not look at you.
Okay. And then I said, ma'am, I need your ID and you want to smack my hand away.
No. You grabbed my hand and I couldn't get my ID out of my pocket.
Yeah, because you're trying to leave.
Sir, you're incorrect.
Okay, you're under arrest. So you wanted to be involved and now you're involved, okay? Face the car. Search her real quick.
You got her? Hold her tight?
I got her.
Turn around.
Yes.
Turn around.
Absolutely.
Ma'am, this was very simple. All you had to do was listen to me, okay?
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, you're not allowed to put your hands on me either.
You put your hands on me.
Because you're trying to leave a lawful stop.
You grabbed my arm.
Ma'am, that's how it works when you try to leave the police stop.
I didn't know you were calling me.
Okay. I looked right at you and I said, come here, and you walked away. So now you're under arrest, okay?
As wide as you can, thank you.
Like, we're trying to deal with these people who are hurt, and you want to make you want to make this whole thing about you, okay?
No, it's not about me. It's about our community. They're crazy here. It's about our community.
Ma'am, you seem very riled up. I'm just trying to do my job.
I got scared. I saw the car flip.
So walking into traffic was your solution?
I wanted to take a picture to show my husband.
Spread your feet.
Okay.
To show my husband.
Okay, well, you're obstructing traffic. I gave you a lawful order to get out of the road.
I'm going to go under your bra.
All right?
Okay?
And then I asked you for your ID so I could write you a ticket, and you said, no, I'm not, and you tried to walk away from me.
Sir,
you're
I
under arrest.
apologize.
Okay,
I didn't hear you.
No, well,
now
it's on
she
camera.
did hear him.
My camera was on the whole time, okay?
Have a seat, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, have a seat.
My purse?
I got it.
Yep, we got it. It's going to go with you to the jail, okay? Have a seat.
Oh my God.
Can we sit back, ma'am?
You guys are liars.
Ma'am, I had a camera on the whole time, okay?
Yeah, and you lie. You grabbed my arm very forcefully. I'm sure I have a bruise.
Okay, ma'am, when you try to walk away from a lawful
I
detention...
didn't hear you, sir.
Yes, you
I
did.
told you I did not hear you.
You heard
All right, now
him.
I'm not going to sit here and argue.
He literally, when he ran up on you, he said this was a lawful order.
Oh, not the moment because the vest is blocking.
Like, this was a nothing thing. I was going to give her a ticket. Show you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, it won't be appointed for you. If you want to talk to me without an attorney, you can stop answering my questions at any time and ask for legal representation. I can't make any threats or promises to force you to make a statement. It must be done freely. Do you understand your rights, ma'am?
Yes, I want an attorney.
Okay, so you don't want to answer any of my questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, so right now you're going to jail for obstruction. Okay, so I gave you very clear commands to give me your ID. You basically tried to walk away. You tried to walk away.
You grabbed my arm.
I then grabbed your arm.
With full force.
Yes, ma'am. You are not allowed to walk away from a lawful stop.
I didn't know you wanted me. You
and
grabbed me.
Believe me, ma'am, that was not using force against you. If I'd used force against you...
You hurt my arm. You hurt my left arm. You hurt my left bicep.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're...
So I need to go to the hospital.
Okay, I'm sorry that you don't like being touched, but if you want to not be...
You grabbed my arm with full force.
Ma'am,
I'm a 95-pound woman.
Ma'am, I haven't cursed at you. I haven't yelled at you.
I have not cursed at you as well.
But you've been very rude and very loud.
No, you're hurting me. You hurt me. And my handcuffs are hurting me.
Okay, well, handcuffs are made of metal, ma'am. They're not soft, okay? When I give you a lawful order and you try to walk away from me, I'm allowed to put my hands on you.
I didn't know you were calling me.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not, sir.
Okay, the camera tells a very different story.
Okay, we'll go to court and do this.
Okay, if you want to go to court, that's a legal right. Do you have any questions for me at this point? When's the last time you were arrested?
Never.
Come on. Okay, all right.
Never in my life.
All right, do you want me to call anybody?
My husband.
Okay, you want me to let him know what's going on?
I can call him. When I get to the jail.
Well, we're not going to the jail for a couple hours, so do you want me to call him now to let him know what's going on?
No, I can call him.
Okay, do you understand that you created this situation and not me?
No, you created the situation.
No, ma'am.
All I did, sir, all I
ma'am.
did was take a picture.
No, ma'am.
I took a picture. The traffic was stopped. I
You were
did
told
not.
to get out of traffic, and then I walked over to write
Wow.
you. I walked over to write you a ticket.
Wow, you're wrong.
I said, ma'am, you're being
Sir,
stopped. So I said, ma'am, I
sir,
said,
you're
hold
wrong.
on. I said, I very clearly said, I said,
All right,
ma'am.
I don't want to hear you.
I said, I need your ID.
No more speaking. We don't speak no more.
Okay. She took her cuffs off. Get out of the car.
All right, so you do know that's a felony,
He
right?
hurt me.
Get out of the car.
He hurt my wrist.
Get out.
Get out of the car.
He hurt my wrist.
Get out of the car.
Turn on. That's because she's 95.
Are you for real?
You hurt my wrist. You see the bruise?
Stop it. Ma'am,
You do
stop.
realize it's a felony. It's considered attempt to escape,
Okay,
right?
but I'm not.
But when you slip
Trap,
your
you're in
cuffs
tempo.
and
We
you're
got it
trying to
back
get out of your
securing
cuffs, it is attempt to escape.
I'm not trying to do that. I
But
swear
that's
to
what
God,
that
it
means.
hurt.
I understand, ma'am, but that's what that means.
I'm sorry about that, guy.
Ma'am, what made you think that taking your cuffs off was allowed?
Honey, you are hurting my hand. You're hurting my wrist.
Okay, let's
All
go
right,
back.
ma'am, well, I'm going with him, so stay in your cuffs, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a seat, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, watch your head.
I'm going to put your seatbelt back on, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm going with him to the station. All right, well, it's not tight. He checked for double spacing.
No, this one's tight. I can't. It's really tight.
Sit up.
Can you feel it? Please, I'm small. I'm only 95 pounds. What are you guys doing to me?
All right, hold on.
And I don't even deserve this. This is hurting me.
Hey, I'm going to loosen it a little bit, okay?
Okay, thank you. You see, right?
It's not, it's honestly...
They had it
okay.
loose
No,
last
it's not.
time,
Isn't
woman,
he
and you
tightened it?
jumped out
Yes,
of
here,
the
sit up.
doggone
The reason you don't have
cuffs
to
with
sit
the
up is you
skinny
slip.
wrist.
He hurt me. He hurt me. I'm not a man. I'm a woman that weighs 95 pounds.
Okay, ma'am.
I don't deserve this. All I do is take a picture.
Ma'am, if you just listen to what we're telling you and cooperate, everything's going to be
You
fine.
need to stay in these cuffs, okay?
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
This is nuts. Like, this was an absolutely nothing deal. All she had...
She made it work, so I don't think I'm
Yeah, I'm just getting my computer.
going to put my camera on just because I don't want her clicking anything.
Yeah, I'm going to go dock mine after we go into...
No, I'm saying I'm going to keep mine on while we go in there.
Oh,
so she doesn't
I got
try
you.
to say we did anything.
It's like the stupidest thing to get arrested for.
What did she do? I just heard you needed me, so I won't
Yeah,
need it.
so she was in the middle of traffic. Cars
Oh,
passed by just to take pictures of the crash, which she could have done from the sidewalk.
And you tried to her,
So-
she said that.
Well, no, so we ordered her out of traffic, and she, begrudgingly made her way over. I go over and I told Matt, I was like, I'm going to go write her a ticket. So I went over to her, I said, I need your ID, and she tried to walk away from me. It's because I was standing right there. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
Sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If she escapes, then I'm going to resign. All right, come on.
How am I getting out?
I'm taking you.
This red button.
You're at the station.
Humane. That's rude. I'm sweating.
I'm gonna
Ma'am, this is a little overly
It's only for a few. Man, listen, it's only for a few seconds because we gotta take our weapons off, and we can't have you out of the car while we do that.
Okay.
So it's only for a few seconds that you were in there by yourself.
Okay, I'm dripping with sweat.
I hear you.
So put it on your camera.
You're just very
dripping with sweat.
Here.
No,
Did
you're
you-
hot.
What did you take?
My camera is on.
I don't take anything,
You're
sir.
just very dramatic.
Yeah, my camera is on.
I've never been arrested.
Stop yelling at me. I haven't raised my voice at you. Stop.
Now you're going to be transported to the county jail in Palm Beach, where we talked about how to.
Yes.
It's going to be in West
30
Palm.
minutes
But
away.
your charge is a bondable misdemeanor. So you already have a step on. So as soon as you get down there and you get processed, which should be a couple hours, you're going to be let out. Okay. You have your credit cards. I have all your stuff with you.
You have my
As long as,
everything's
yep,
in there.
As long as you have $25 on one of those cards, that's 10% of $250. You should be able to get out in a couple hours.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Have a seat, please.
All right, go and have a seat.
Okay.
And like I said, ma'am, like I know you're actually real quick. Before you sit down, I know you don't want to talk to me. I just want to explain something to you. Okay? When I rewatched my video twice, you put your hands on me against my will. I didn't charge. Hold on, ma'am. I could have charged you with battery on a law enforcement officer.
Okay. I'm asking you this.
Sit back, please. I want to put your seat.
Thank you so much.
The woman was arrested and charged with resisting arrest. If convicted, what do you think would be an appropriate sentence? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.
All right, I thought that was very like lighten it up a little bit. The lady, she didn't have to get arrested. The first time they told her not to go into traffic to try to get a picture of it, she should have just bounced. She didn't. She did it numerous of times. Then he started running over there. He said twice to her, "This is a lawful stop, and I'm going to cite you." That wasn't good enough. He said he wanted her ID. That wasn't good enough. She did put his hands on him. You saw it in the video. She did place his hand on him and hands on him, and she was resisting, and that's how she got arrested, really. And you could see that he was annoyed that he even had the arrester for that, because he seemed like he was more concerned about the crash accident that occurred, and she kind of took him away from that. He was annoyed about it. He even said, as a police officer, he said, if she escapes, I'm resigning. Like, that was funny. That was really funny. He said, if she escapes, I'm resigning. That like that said, go take it on the head, chuck it on the hell. He was done with it. All right, guys, but that's all I have for you for this today. I'll try to come back tomorrow. If I don't, I'll see you on the next one. But I wanted to like end it with more of a lighter tune than most of the cases that we go through. And I'll just say thank you all for rocking out for me as long as y'all have. Please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, or share with a friend who are interested in cases like this. And I think going forward, I might be adding some body cameras in the middle of some of these cases, just so we can have a flow of energy that's not always negative and morbid. I'll try to add it in going forward. But I do appreciate everyone who rocked out with me for as long as you did. And I hope that y'all have a great evening, and y'all have a wonderful day tomorrow. But thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.